Hello, hello, Green Gamers. Welcome to Green Gaming Festival 2022. We are here today with FoxyJira, who's going to run Final Fantasy X. But just before we get started, we had an incentive for you guys to give some money to our great charity, One Tree Planted. So every dollar that you donate will go towards planting another tree, which our Earth desperately needs right now. So we got a few donations towards that incentive to get some cutscenes in that Final Fantasy X run. So Sineth donates $5 and says, starting a cutscene donation train, all aboard. Ha 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 ha. Illegally Sound donates $50 and says, thanks for having me and sorry for breaking all of the audio. Don't be sorry, hon, please don't. Mr. D-Drake donates $5 and says, all aboard the Dono Hype train. Ha 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 ha. And Jankmo donates $5 saying, ha 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 ha. Okay, I'm all laughed out. Thank you so much, everyone, for those donations. Let's get this started and let's get this incentive to you, Foxy.
Awesome. Thank you so much for, I assume you read all of the ha-ha-has, so I'm very proud of you for doing that. But everybody, I'm FoxyJira. This is going to be Final Fantasy X with any percent with the cutscene remover mod. Basically, that takes out about 90% of the cutscene dialogue, general dialogue of the game, and the actual full motion videos in the game as well. So cuts the run down from about 9.5 hours for myself to a solid 3.5. So it's going to be pretty quick. It's going to be a lot of high octane gaming, as I like to say, and we're going to go and get started. So I'm just going to go from new game. We are going to select the standard sphere grid, the original soundtrack, because it's the best soundtrack, and we're gonna get started here. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Sorry, that part is really loud for almost no reason, basically. But yeah, so we're immediately gonna get started. We skip all like the intro bits of like it being like this is my story, blah blah blah, and we go immediately to the nerdy little kids who are asking us to sign our name. I have a tradition of always changing my character name to Chadley. Sorry, I did not make that an incentive. I kind of forgot about it, but figured it would be better to actually put in cutscenes in the game. So yeah, so instead of Titus, we have Chadley here, and we do have to talk to these kids and let it be done. And then after that, we don't have to talk to any more of like the fans, and we'll just go ahead and move on. So now we're going to walk our way to the stadium and skip all those cutscenes and basically get right into the run. A lot of this is just going to be walking around, me doing sphere gridding and fleeing encounters. So yeah, as Anma mentioned, we definitely want to get that laughing cutscene incentive done. I think we're only about $10 more away, as Chad is saying right now. So please donate. It's going to be really fun. I just moved into a new place and would love to scare my neighbors with me laughing extremely loud on a Friday night whilst completely sober. So yeah, it'll be a good time. And then we also have more donation incentives for cutscenes. One being at least my favorite cutscene in all of gaming, which is the Bevel entry cutscene, as well as a bit of a meme in the Final Fantasy X community, which is Auron's speech before the Unalesca fight. So if you want to donate towards something, we've got a few hours before those, but it'd be really great. It's towards an amazing cause, so we'll go from there. So we get to meet Auron. We don't actually say his name, just go, huh, and then we run off. Then we kind of skipped a little bits where we get to meet the Faith of Bahamut, and we immediately go into Auron giving us our first intro into lessons. So this is kind of specific. We actually defend here with Titus to get a better turn order, and then the rest we're actually going to basically attack through the rest of this. So there, because of how the combat system works in Final Fantasy X, a lot of it really is very specific inputs to make sure that we are either just fast enough, just strong enough, and have the perfect setup so that we actually don't have to do anything outside of the norm and do crazy prep, basically. So crits in general are good for the most part, but at this point in the game, I want my crits to be saved for the upcoming boss, which is the Synthphone Ames. And yeah, so this fight's gonna be pretty quick. Because I'm running on PC, I do have the option of changing my keyboard inputs specifically for these to make Auron's overdrive a little bit easier. but I only have one of them, not both, because it's kind of awkward how it like lists the overdrives themselves. Like everything is listed very awkwardly. It's like, oh, what the button does isn't actually just like how it's appropriately named is the best way to say it. So okay, there you go. Well, we got a crit already. That's a very good start. Saves us a lot of time and a lot of time that we need to heal. So yep, pretty simple. This boss is. Basically, we can't die in it because it only uses Demi, so it literally cannot kill us. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just kind of introducing you to overdrives, which we will be using very much more towards the like the rest of the run, basically. Until about the midway point in the run, until we get Bahamut. So, as I've mentioned, this is the Bahamut route, so towards the end of the game, as soon as we get the Bahamut summon, we're basically going to be using that to basically, it's not spin to win, but it is slap to win, more or less, with the end of the game. So it's a great time. It's a very, you know, it's a super fun game, and it's a very interesting, like, just route all on its own that you wouldn't normally expect to take as a casual player. So it's a lot of fun just to go through. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be done here soon. You can kind of tell where you are with the health in this boss by how many like tentacles it has coming out of it. So those last two tentacles went down with Orin's last hit. We only got the one crit, which was kind of sad, but you know, we can get more crits later to save time. So gonna hit this save sphere real quick to rest up, and we're gonna go into the tanker fight. Now the tanker fight's pretty simple. The interesting part about this is actually by not attacking at all, we cause a certain dialogue set to happen, because as far as I know, basically, this fight doesn't have a like the tanker itself doesn't have HP. It has like, I guess, a turn limit of how many turns you have to go through before it like technically dies. So we're just gonna switch weapons one more time here with Titus, and then he's gonna go like, maybe I should hit this tanker, and then we just go hit the tanker 3 times in a row, and we're on to Bosch Temple. So it's a pretty quick start. Usually this part of the game, you have like just a lot of downtime while you get started in like a normal run, you know, just kind of like settling into, you know, the 9-hour long, you know, super drama you're getting yourself into. And sometimes that happens actually, where it does take 4 hits instead of 3, and you're kind of just like, what's wrong with the world? But that's good. And so we're moving on. Oh, I forgot this little like portion of like us kind of floating in the air looking for our Pop Eject or our young selves as we find them. So it's always fun to look at this part as a good throwback to like what the actual end game is for Final Fantasy X. So I always thought that was fun, that it's like, oh, this is like we end up here at the very end of the game, crazy. But yeah. So after all that, no cutscenes, no dialogue, we just skip in. The one funny thing that you may have noticed is that some of the audio from specific portions of the game is still with us. So like we're technically still in the battle music, even though we should have the Baj Temple music going right now. That's going to happen quite a bit, where for some fights we're actually not going to have any audio, or you know, there's going to be the wrong audio in. So enjoy that while you can. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes we get audio that is just completely wrong or gone, and it's a little sad sometimes because this game has amazing music, but at the end of the day, saving 5.5 to 6 hours on a run is, you know, worth its weight in gold. So yeah, so now we're into the actual Bosch Temple music. For those of you that haven't played this game, I don't know, it's weird to explain what Final Fantasy X is to the layman, because, you know, one of the most well-known games out there, one of the most well-known Final Fantasies, and actually my favorite game of all time. I'll actually mention this now, but so the symbol that Titus has on his right pant leg of the Abe's symbol, I actually have that tattooed on my leg as well, because I'm a giant old nerd. So, you know, little things to show your love for a series. So now we hop into this fight. An ambush is actually really good. Because actually an ambush is bad in this fight. We want a preemptive here. It's kind of random when you get preempts and ambushes. You can kind of get them in good spots or bad spots. Typically ambushes are bad in general, but sometimes they do help out. So a preempt in this in the Sahagins fight would be good because I can kill 2 Sahagins quickly. An ambush for the Geos Jano fight would actually be really good because Geos Jano goes off of a turn order. So Geos Jano is kind of like the first Sin Spawn that we fight, where it's the attacks it deals only like halve your health. So it can't technically kill you with that. At least it shouldn't kill you, is the best way to say it. So we're going to use potions here, and then we're going to do some config, put things on memory and Aeons on short, even though the Aeons on short doesn't matter because we don't, actually the Aeons on short does matter, because it just shortens the Aeon like entry times basically for the rest of the game. And then basically for a lot of the game, we're going to be using the flee command. So just having that on hand immediately without having to select it every time is really convenient. And the other reason we heal instead of getting the save sphere there with the potions is because we're already in the menu. So healing with the potions just avoids us having to go into the, like, hit the save sphere when it's out of the way of the door, basically. So we grab the flint, we grab the withered bouquet, and we're going to start a fire and then immediately go into the click fight. So the click fight, you basically have to use 6 hits with Titus, or if you hit, crits add 1 to the count. So if I critting technically counts as hitting twice. So I have to keep track of my health as well as, you know, the amount of hits that I'm doing. So we can count together 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully the crit on the last hit would be great. Nice miss. 5, nope. If we crit on the last hit, that's the best meme. What I should have done is healed there first, because I would have had a free turn. So now we're introduced to Riku, who's going to show us, you know, like special abilities and stuff like that. So we have to use a grenade here, and then basically I'm going to steal with Riku as much as I can, simply because I need to have 6 grenades for the upcoming Tros fight, and just constantly stealing with her is basically better than anything else, basically. So, because she does so little damage compared to Titus, so a turn with her really only, like, sort of helps. So I'm back up to 3 grenades now. So that's 5 grenades, and I'm good to go. So I might steal one more time just for memes. Nope, okay. And so now I can hit with her for the rest of time. And this
hey,
fight
Foxy,
is basically
let
over.
me know when I can come in with donations, right?
Oh yeah, now is a good time actually. Just waiting
cool.
for this fight to end. Yep.
Awesome, because we got another donation in the donation train to get this Titus cutscene. We have Anonymous who donates $5 and said, "Here, heard there's a dono train. Ha 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 ha." Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Yes,
Keep them
thank
coming.
you.
I think we are $5 away from getting it. Yoo-hoo!
Ooh, there we go. And we've only got 30 minutes left, so get your money and please donate. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so like I said, we're at 5 grenades now. We need 6 for the fight. It's convenient to have 7 grenades, specifically for like AP routing and like some things that we like to do. For like just basically early sphere gridding. So I should be getting an encounter like right about here or not. That's actually really rare. Okay, I've actually never had that happen before. Wow, okay. Well, marathon luck, I guess. So you should get an encounter right there from which you would steal some grenades. So I need 2 more, so I'll just go ahead and steal from the next Piranha encounter, which is no big deal. And then we'll be ready for the Tros fight. So a lot of this game is routed around just as minimal sphere gridding as much as you can possibly do, basically, to get Eunice strong enough to translate to Bahamut's strength. And early game, we basically need just enough AP to unlock certain abilities that are going to make the fights a lot easier for us. So I'm going to steal from this. Okay, 1 grenade is fine. And then basically just going to sit through the rest of this fight. So I do need to pay attention to Riku's, sorry, I'm trying to think about what I usually prefer to do for this fight, which is throw a grenade at them so I get 2 overkills. And the overkills allow me to get extra AP, so there's a possibility that I get an early strength node, which helps out with the Kamari boss fight right after this. So that's 1 speed sphere. I also have to keep track of speed spheres, throughout the game. So if chat would be as lovely as you can to help me with my counting, I need 17 total speed spheres and 47 total power spheres. Now, there are given power spheres throughout the game, and I'll try to tell you when some are given and some aren't. Specifically, the power spheres ones, there are specific areas where I'll tell you that it's typically when I'm just fighting random enemies, like along the roads and stuff like that, that I'll get some. But I'll mostly be getting speed spheres in Kilika and the power spheres from the Sahagins fight after Blitzball. So, if anything, 6 grenades, perfect. I'll I'll try to let you know when to count, but the typical thing is I need 10 or 12 power spheres technically throughout this. Oh, okay, that's good. Crit with Titus is nice right there, because usually you want to do 2 attacks with him so that if you under damage in your damage ranges with the grenades, you definitely do enough basically to kill with the 6th one. So, all right. 2 more grenades. Defend with Titus. 2 more grenades. Defend one more time. We get a Nautilus charge, and then we're gonna kill it before it actually gets to do another attack. So, perfect. Pretty good fight, actually. You can get a crit here with a grenade and to kill the boss. I've never actually gotten it before, so it doesn't matter. You get 2 power spheres from this, but this is in the given count, so we don't have to worry about counting them. I typically have in my splits, which I should have had up. Honestly, that would have been a smart move of me to pull those up to let me know where I am in my counting. But typically with speed spheres, I kind of just am off the cuff about it. I know in Kilika that I should generally get the amount based off what I'll be killing later, so that's typically fine. And then the power spheres themselves, like I said with the Sahagins after Blitzball, if I overkill all of them, I typically get enough power spheres that it doesn't matter, is the best way to say it. A number for 4 hours, yeah. So I do have notes pulled up with me. I do know the entire run basically by heart, but there is just a lot of memorization, and so to remember absolutely everything obviously isn't super doable. So we go from there. So one thing that's kind of fun is as a kid, I never knew what was down here in this section because with a CRT TV, it was just absolutely terrible to look through, but with here you can actually see that is the airship that we'll be getting later. So now we're on to Besaid. We skipped the jet engine noises that we like to make jokes about because somehow Titus can kick a ball that hard. So we go this way with Waka. We go into the lagoon. So here's one place that we can get more AP and also power spheres / speed spheres. Now there are there's 3 different kinds of piranha encounters that we can get. We can get either a 2, 3, or 4 set of piranhas. If it's a 2 set, we kill them. If it's a 3 set or a 4 set, we try to run away. If it's a 2 set with an ambush, we try to run away. If it's a 4 set with a preempt, then we kill as well. So kind of just some variations on it. Typically, you are going to get about 2 encounters based off of your movement. I did a little bit of poor movement there and kind of went down instead of directly bottom right, but that's totally fine. We've got a lot of time to spare here, and it's not really going to kill too much time for us. So 2 piranha encounter is good. I like getting the extra AP, and trying to count for a lot of the stuff makes it easier. So didn't get as much AP as I wanted, like I said, from the other piranhas, but that's totally fine. So 1 power sphere, so we'll actually put that towards our count. So we have 1 power sphere, 1 speed sphere. Ah, thank you, Strut. The power of Twitch helping. Most of the time, my Twitch chat likes to meme me a little bit and not tell me the correct answer. So, there you go. So we got a preempt, so we'll go ahead and just go through this encounter. It's kind of rare that you get a good encounter like this. And also, one thing that's kind of annoying with this game, just in general, though, is that running away is actually, it's sort of random. So we have 1 more power sphere, so we're at 2 power spheres. Running away is actually, it has a little bit of randomness to it. So a lot of the time, there are certain places that we do want to run away, and especially early in the early game. And some of the characters, I've had at least one point where Yuna, at least 5 or 6 times in a row, is just I'm just please go, just go away, and she just absolutely refuses, especially in the lagoon as well. I'm not sure what determines it, but I've certainly almost lost some runs because in late game I make a single mistake and I accidentally attack or do something instead of fleeing, and I try to run away with a couple characters, and they basically haven't ever touched their own sphere grids. Like, so they're at like base level, more or less, and they're just sitting there. I'm like, they get like 2 chances to run away, and they still don't do it. And you're like, you're gonna die. Please, like, go, like, exit the battle. I need to survive this, please. But yeah, so now we're in Besaid. Spear Unplugged is a dope track. I love the music in this game. I kind of just want to like laud this game so much because I just love it. The nostalgia factor and everything else, it's just too high for me. So yeah, we enter the temple. We go talk to a priest, get a priest dude. We go back. Waka promises to give us lunch that we'll never get, and we're on our way. But yeah, coming up after this is just the Cloister of Trials, so nothing really too crazy here. If there's anything, Anma, if you'd like to say about the marathon or any donations, feel free to take a moment to pop in.
All right, thank you. We don't have any other donations on set right now, but we are $5 away from the Titus laugh cutscene, which we all want to hear, right? We all want to hear more of me awkwardly laughing, and we want to hear Foxy as well.
Yes.
And maybe get everyone on tech to just awkwardly laugh along with all of us.
It'll be a nice unison chorus. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. We are currently raising money for One Tree Planted, who will plant 1 tree per dollar that we donate. So this is great for many, many reasons. We love trees, we love animals, but like a lot of deforestation is occurring on our planet right now. A lot of industries, a lot of agriculture, like widespread agriculture, just people just deforest a bunch and put some fields to grow food. And it's just not... like it's not durable. It won't work in the long run. Like we need to respect our earth better than that, and we need to like optimize our agriculture a little better than that. And of course, a lot of agriculture is not for human consumption, it is for animal consumption. So if we eat less animals, then we have less animals to feed, and then we need less fields, and then we deforest stuff. And also just deforestation causes great disruptions in ecosystems. And the soils as well, like the roots of the trees keep the soil together. So as soon as you deforest and then like there's a rain and all the soil is just washed away in the sea, like it's real bad, y'all. We're not very good at terraforming. Like some humans are really ready to start like terraforming other planets. We're not even good at keeping our planet nice. So like, let's not push. We need them trees. We need that. So thank you everyone who has donated so far. We have raised $823, and this is only the second day of a 4-day marathon. So this is really cool. Thank you everyone, and it's a great cause. And yeah, for more I don't know, biology facts and stuff like that, I am a biologist. So get your questions in chat, get your questions in donations. I'll be happy to answer. Up to you, Jira.
Thank you very much. Yep. So now we just got done with the Cloister of Trials, and so we're going to be going through the first instance of seeing Valefor being summoned, but we're actually not going to see that because, hey, cutscenes are long. So we just stand Valefor, we move on our way. We miss the funny part of us being told that we're a bad man, and we, for some reason, we have to go through this one specific instance because we control Titus here to go, you know, flirt with both Yuna and Riku, while his dad tells him that he can't get a woman. You know, great early 2001 flirting techniques from video games. And then we immediately run outside, and all of a sudden we're out of Besaid. Even better. So we actually have to run back in, though, because the early game relies quite a bit on the special overdrive that the Valefor summon gets, specifically called Energy Blast. Oops, and I actually went in the menu there. And so all we have to do basically is talk to this one person, and we run and talk to a dog who has something mangled and slobbery in its mouth, and then all of a sudden we get a new overdrive. It's kind of crazy, but very cool. So we get Energy Blast, and we're back on our way. So now we have a couple forced encounters here, where we're basically shown like the different enemy types and how specific characters have enemy types that are like, you know, more to their like, you know, I guess typical stat line, right? So Titus is like wolves and quick things, and Waka is going to be flying and other things. So overkills here are actually really good because that helps with the AP that we need. I think I'm a little bit low right now to make any big difference, unless I do get a crit here, which would be a little crazy, but you know, can't expect the world. But other than that, those are the last two portions of like crits that would like really help things. So we're at 4 power spheres and 2 speed spheres, chat, if anybody wants to help like document these things. And the main thing is that Titus gets an extra turn in battle against this water flan, but because you can't crit with magic, we can't actually ever crit this encounter here. So that's the only difference. So yeah. We learn about elements and, you know, the duality of them and blah, blah, blah. So, but thank you, Lulu, for your nice teaching. All right. Thank you, Strut. So the thing is, if we have 3 AP here, then we can get an early strength node, which allows the Kimahri fight to go a lot easier, and we don't have to rely on basically an extra turn of healing. So crits or 2 misses here is really going to make this go a lot easier. So depending on my crits, we'll have to see. Max I'd have to do is 7 hits. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have anti-crits, 1 evade. We basically have to heal right before we go into Kimahri's next set of turns, which sucks. There's also a difference of whether you have high damage rolls, basically, is the main thing. So there would have been our second evade. We would have been fine. And so that's Kimahri done. So now we have 3 ability spheres, but we're going to wait because we actually have to do a quick formation change in the next section. So there's no point in sphere like doing extra menuing on top of the menuing that we're going to be doing later. So what's up next is that we get shown how to summon an Aeon, and the point of this for us is going to be to get Veilfor to full overdrive for the next boss fight, because it'll just basically eliminate it. So you press LB, switch in, or L1. And we get to summon. And all we're going to be doing here is using Thunder the entire time because it's the fastest attack, it's the fastest animation, and it's going to fully charge Veilfor's Overdrive, like I said. So one thing we'll be doing is there's only a few specific characters that we'll actually be gritting with. One of them is Yuna, and so the main thing with Yuna is that in her Aeons, the relationship between them is that Yuna's stats boost her Aeon stats as well. So, not Sonic Wings, we're gonna Thunder, there we go. And we're just gonna mash for Thunder for the rest of this fight. So Yuna's stats multiply her Aeon stats. So in the first portion of the game, we're not gonna worry about Yuna's stats specifically. Like as long as Titus gets enough levels and Yuna's in the party with us, then we're basically fine, right? That's no big deal. But we do have to get her magic stat up a decent amount for a later Sin-Spawn fight, the Gui fight specifically, which is kind of like let's say the cutoff point usually for a lot of runners of like learning how to manage manage the fights that you need to sphere grid well, and also understand like how to manipulate the battles that you're doing to get the appropriate amount of like AP that you need to progress. So, but yeah. All right. So yeah, 1 power sphere. That's a planned power sphere that doesn't count towards our count. So in our formation, though, we're going to switch out Waka for Chadley here. I'm going to start using Chadley instead of Titus because it's more fun. We're going to switch out Waka for Chadley because in this specific instance, it's showing us that Waka's abilities of his Dark Attack. But if Waka's not in the party, then he doesn't have to do anything. And so because this fight takes so long, all we do is escape, and we don't have to fight it. And it's easy peasy. That's very good. Okay, usually on that fight, I usually have one person that doesn't like to escape, and so it takes an extra turn or two, but that's no big deal. So that was very nice. So we usually have 1 encounter here in the Besaid Island. There you go. And so this basically just gives us an extra, everything that we need. So I'm going to switch Waka for Yuna, kill this bird, and all we have to do is smash X to win because everybody's already on their appropriate, selection, basically. So that's good to go. So this power sphere also counts towards the normal count. Speed spheres, though, that counts. So we're at 4 power spheres and 3 speed spheres total throughout the run. Yep. And as we exit Besaid, we're basically immediately going to go into the Sin Fin fight, where, for our first real encounter with Sin, like that we can physically see it and really understand what it is, and then also kind of get into like Sin Spawn fights. The nice thing about this fight is that it actually gives us I think this one is one of the ones that has a force, oh, you know what I forgot to do is grid. There we go. Good thing I am... a little bit slow there, but that's fine. All right. Talking through this is going to make me forget gridding quite a bit. But yeah, so we skip all these cutscenes, the awkward bits of, having famous parents and blah, blah, blah. Waka has no imagination. And then we go through and it's time for the Sin Fin fight. All right. And so a lot of fights sometimes actually have a specific thing where they they give you the characters that they start with already. So see, now we actually get Kamari in the party when he wasn't before. And we'll just kind of work our way from here. So I'm going to defend with Titus. I'm going to switch Yuna for Lulu. I'm going to Thunder the Finn, specifically. Ooh. Then I'm going to Lance the Finn. I'm going to do each of those twice. And so we're going to get a set of options where the Finn moves. The enemies are going to charge or do attacks. And I'm going to defend once more, Thunder, Lance it again. And then I'm going to switch to Yuna and kill the Finn. So switch to Yuna. We summon, because we were already on the summon before. And we're going to use our Energy Blast Overdrive. And we saved a little bit of time there because of moves, basically, and the Finn did not move back. So sometimes there's a little bit of a contention between speed stats between Yuna and Titus, and that causes, sometimes, whereas in my notes it might say who's going to be going first, sometimes I have to pay attention to who's actually going to be doing stuff. So that was actually quite a bit of under damage right there. So it's really good that I actually did both. You can skip some turns here and there with other things, but we're going to go from that. So immediately go into another Sin Spawn fight. So we're going to cheer twice with Titus. I'm going to Dark Attack with Waka to make sure we don't die. And then basically we hit twice with Waka, hit twice with Titus, and then we Titus Overdrive to win. And here we do want an overkill, specifically because that actually gives us more AP that we're going to be needing later. So Waka's attack once. Titus's attack once. Okay, Titus crit though, so Titus only has to only attack 2 more times.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, hit it up.
And an exciting announcement.
Ooh, we hit the $200. Let's go.
We did. So we're going to have the Titus laugh cutscene, a very, very memeable cutscene. So big thanks to Drewlith, who donates $5 and says, "Let there be laughter."
Let there be laughter. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we still have 2 other cutscene incentives to be met that will happen a little later. We have the Bevel Grind cutscene and the Aaron speech cutscene, I think it was originally called.
Yeah. All right, so
no,
did a slight...
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No, it says Aaron exclamation mark now.
Yes.
Which I don't remember enough to get that, but...
Yeah, it's you'll understand if we do hit it. It's quite the meme. So yeah. All right, so we have to actually skip this FMV here manually thanks to the PC version. Didn't overkill there. I guess I underdamaged with Titus a little bit. That's kind of sad, but it's not a huge deal. We'll just make it up later is the big thing. So I'll just need to get more kills in Kilika to make up for it. So We skip the Una Jesus water scene. This kid wants to be a blitzball, but hey, you know, don't let your dreams be dreams, kid. So now we go and talk to Waka, and we're gonna go to Kilika. So we learn in Kilika Forest, we're gonna learn the Lancet, how the Lancet ability works. And oh no, Janko trying to bust early, but yeah. So we're going to learn how Lancet works, which is going to be very heavily used later. And then what the main thing is like there's specific encounters that I'm looking for in my notes that say, hey, when you encounter these like enemies, here's what you need to do to build vehicles overdrive so that you don't die, basically, is the best way to say it. So there's a nice little list on like what's a good encounter, what's a bad encounter, etc. It's not a huge deal, but yeah. So we're gonna lance it, and then we're immediately gonna switch out Kimura because we don't want to use his thing right now. So we're just gonna switch out to Yuna. Titus is going to attack, and then we're going to fire with Lulu, and it's gonna be fine. And we're basically done with Lulu for the rest of the run. Lulu has one specific use, and it is non-combat specific. All right. Okay, so we're going to sphere grid here. And we're going to formation, get Waka, and we're going to... Actually, I did that a little early. What you want to do is pick up the Scout, because you have to equip it to Waka. And now we're on to counting kills as well. So there's just a lot of simple counting in this game. So anytime I kill an enemy, that counts as one kill to basically like anything I want to, like the number of kills that I need to have in the game. So this is fine. It's not a huge deal. So I'm just going to defend with Titus, and we're going to summon Veilfor. So with the Killer Bee and Yellow Element, it's pretty simple. Just going to boost once, Thunder the Killer Bee, and Water the Yellow Element, and that'll be the perfect amount of damage to go through everything. So we're just going to boost. It's going to allow our overdrive to charge faster, although we take more damage, but that's totally fine. We got two enemies here to worry about. So you see it went up an absolute ton. So we're going to Black Magic, we're going to Thunder the Bee, and then we're going to Water the Yellow Element. So that's 2 kills because it's one kill plus the overkill. And then we're going to Black Magic, Water. So that's 3 kills total here. So now we were on 3 speed spheres here and 4 power spheres. Okay, so we're on 5 speed spheres. And so usually for this, I tend to skip the Lux Sphere that is at the end of this portion, and now we're going to run all the way to the next fight, because we don't need to kill anything right here, we just need to have our overdrive charged. This is a bad encounter, so we're going to flee. Typically, anytime you get a Regora or like the green plant things, that's just a bad encounter. Don't take it, run away. It's just, it's not worth it. So we got 3 kills there. You typically want anywhere between 7 to 9, but there's really never any like bad reason to take more encounters. It helps more later, and it's just easier at the end of the day. All right, so Titus goes first. This is good, and so that's basically it. This is going to be the fight. So we summon Veilfor. You have to make sure to touch the save sphere there, because obviously Veilfor took damage. And we want to make sure that Veilfor doesn't die in this fight, because that would just take us way more time than we want, because we haven't leveled any of our characters, basically. So, Energy Blast once more. And then, bada bing, bada boom. We use fire for the rest to kill the fight. So, these fights are very simple. It's just more of like making sure that you do the preliminary things to get the fights done beforehand, like making sure you do your sphere gridding, making sure that you're equipping the right weapons, etc. So, and the other main thing about this that you may be noticing, so I'm trying to make sure that the Aeons don't die, specifically because if an Aeon dies, they lose all of their overdrive charge. So if Veilfor would die here in the fight or otherwise, that would just kind of ruin our planning for later in the game. So that's another big thing, because we're basically not going to use Veilfor until we get to Mushroom Rock Road again. And so storing that, like basically storing our overdrives is a big thing to wait for in the game. So that's why I'm only going to be using them at certain points. But yeah, taking a quick sip of water. I got some seltzer water here with me to make sure I don't get too much of a dry throat while I talk for 3.5 hours straight. So yeah, so now we've got our overdrive charged. I believe we've done 3 fires. It's typically between 4 and 5, depending on your damage. So Titus didn't crit, so that's lower damage. I've done okay damage rolls, but 4 is good. And we get 2 more power spheres. Those are guaranteed power spheres, so we're just not going to count those, right? Okay, so now we're up to Kilika Temple. Definitely one of the more awkward, cringy places in the game, but it's nice to not have to talk to the Luca goers. Speaking of Blitzball. So Blitzball is a funny thing. That we have a very specific way that we try to win in Blitzball. Really, Blitzball itself, like what the notes give you is just kind of like a rudimentary, like, hey, here's what you should be doing, and how to win at the most in the most efficient way. But really, you kind of do need to practice Blitzball a little bit to like get used to like what it can give you. So the worst thing about Blitzball overall is that really at the end of the day, while you can be a very good player and know how to manipulate the game to win, at the end of the day, sometimes the Luca goers can just say no and really end your run. Not really end your run, but they can really make you have a bad time with your run. Now, one nice thing is that if you lose Blitzball, technically your run's not dead. Your run's just going to probably be a little bit slower. There's ways to get around all of it, and it's totally fine. It's really nothing really too bad to worry about. Typically, when I'm running, if I don't win Blitzball, I just reset the run because it's just easier to do overall. At the end of the day, so it's something that I can't. That's a personal choice. And typically, most of the time, you win Blitzball if you're used to it. But that's just like I said. That's like there's really no reason why you shouldn't. It's just kind of a runner's choice sort of deal. So we're almost done with the Kilika cloister here. It's pretty simple. The puzzle itself isn't too bad. There's just some specific like movement and routing that we take that's just faster than the other ways. Like I'm purposely putting the first one in the right slot and then the left slot and then back to the right slot again. It's just all about like how much time it takes to get to each section. So no big deal. We technically won't be using Ifrit in the run at all. There is a possibility, depending on how some things go, that I could use Ifrit, but typically it's one of those. It's just an extra Aeon that we just have to get for story purposes. So I think pretty simple. But yeah, if chat has any questions about the run itself, feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to answer questions. Like I can literally rattle off the notes to you and like explain what the run is. It's not a huge deal, but I'm more than happy to interact and answer anything anybody's curious about. So yeah, we get a free heal. Well, we don't get a free heal, but like we're basically full health from the last fight. So, and now we're hoping to get our kills. So we've got 3 kills so far. And we want to make sure to get, at this point, I want to get about 9 kills to make up for things. This is good. This is like the perfect set of encounters because Waka can typically up. My brain just read that as a B, and that is not what I want to be doing. So you can't kill the Thunders very easily. So 1 more speed sphere, so we're at 6. But a Dionyx, which is the lizard, and the Killer Bee is like a perfect encounter, basically. So that way you're not like trying to flee from anything and you still get rewards. So that is 4 kills, excuse me. And once more. 5, 6 kills. And the thing is, typically everything here gives you speed spheres, so that's kind of the nice thing is that you'll get most of them here. So if I have to spend a minute or two like grinding out some encounters here, that's totally fine. So we're at 8 speed spheres. Rigor is a bad encounter, so we flee. And so we're not gonna hit what we want. So we're at 6 in kills. I think it's actually technically 5 to 7, but I'm just gonna go ahead and grind out a little bit here. The time loss. Actually, this is a very bad encounter. Okay. We're going to grind out some speed spheres here because we're a little low, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to be worried about that about this later, more or less, is the big thing. So, how's it going, chat? Hopefully everybody's had a good weekend. I can get some non-Rigora encounters. I'd be really happy about that. Sometimes the game kind of just does say no with things that you want to be doing. I'm not going to pick up any extra chests because it's pointless. It's just superfluous and takes extra time. This is fine. All right. That's 7. And typically Waka overkills the bees, so that's 8-9 kills. And we'll try to get one more encounter here.
I'll be right back.
So that's 3. So what, we were at 8, so we're at 11 speed spheres now. Okay, that's 11 kills.
I'll be right back.
And we're good to go. Alright, 13 speed spheres. And we're good to go. A little bit of extra kills there just to make sure we're not, like I said, low for later. But yeah, we're at 13. We should easily hit this, the 17 speed spheres. Now, we still only have 4 power spheres, if I'm correct. So that'll be something we work on, but we should... With what I'm planning, we won't have to worry about any issues, basically. So now we go out here and we talk to Owaka, and we immediately give him exactly 1,100 gil. And so 1,100 gil is going to make it so that later we're going to get cheaper prices on a certain amount of weapon, a certain weapon that we need. That's going to make the rest of the game just kind of easy peasy. So we go talk to Waka and Lulu because you have to do at least one cutscene portion to get the eject shot. And so it's top, left, A, back down. There we go. And so one thing that we want to do is try to get the eject shot, but it's actually pretty tough to read sometimes where the things are. So sometimes I miss it a little bit. And, oh no, I messed up. That's all right. I'm kidding anyway. We actually don't want the eject shot. It's actually it's a faster cutscene in general to not get the eject shot, and you can't even use it for the first game because it costs 2 like ability slots in Blitzball. So you can't even use it unless somehow you like really level Titus in the first half of Blitzball, which is very unlikely. His sphere shot ability is really good anyway, so you don't even have to worry about it. So. Yep. So now we skipped all the intro to Blitzball and all that other jank business, and now we're running off to go explore the Talent Yuna looking for Auron. So we explore with Yuna. Everything goes nice and dandy. Just head out to the bars. It's no big deal before the game. Having a nice time, exploring how Luca is absolutely massive and huge. And lo and behold, Yuna gets kidnapped. Uh-oh. So Yuna gets kidnapped, so now we got to run out and find her. The Al Bhed have kidnapped her, which is not great, but hey. And we have to go through a few waves of Machina and eventually the Obliterator. So the main thing with the Obliterator, with these fights actually to start, is that with Lulu, all we're going to be doing basically is thundering Lulu for the most part. And on the third set of Machina, we're going to try and just manipulate fights so they go by a little bit faster is the best way to say it. So if we get 5 sphere levels here, I can get early haste. Early haste on Obliterator is amazing because it just makes the fight just that much faster. There's really nothing really to worry about here, but it's just more of a a quality of life thing. We really need haste for the Sahagins fight. After Blitzball, so that's the biggest thing. But with the Obliterator, there's a way how drops are done in this game that depending on who kills an enemy, it increases the drop for the character that killed them. So we want to try to kill the Obliterator with Titus, because if we do so, that increases the chances of Titus getting the lightning steel blade. And so the lightning steel is going to make our life a lot easier for the Sahagins fight, and also for the underwater extractor fight before Guadalsalam. So that's really what we need it for. It's not huge if we don't get it, but it's a big time save basically. So yeah. So next fight, all we do is like before, just defend to win. Lulu does thunders. We're going to try and pay attention after this fight to see how many AP spheres we have. It should just be 4. I didn't really get that many spheres, and I missed the overkill on Utilities. So that'll be fine. It'll probably just be at the actual Obliterator fight that I have haste, or called it. So we won't have it for these 3 Machina sets, but we will have it for Obliterator, which is good. So So here, because of how like turns work out, I'm actually gonna have Titus and Kimahri actually attack here. Okay, that's good. So I don't actually have to attack with... I don't have to use Kimahri's overdrive, basically. Oh, wow. That's actually really interesting, getting 2 crits there. That's very rare. Okay. So here, with the second set, you always just Thunder with Lulu because it's faster. And then the third set, we'll be using Kimahri's overdrive. And then we go into Blitzball. Well, Obliterator, then Blitzball. The Obliterator fight is extremely simple. You basically can't lose, is the best way to say it. Usually how turn order works with this fight is it works out that, like, there's a 5th turn that Kimahri gets before Lulu, so that as it requires you 5 hits to kill them, it's just easier that way. But with this seed cannon, we'll get it through and we're done. So the 2 crits there actually saved me a decent amount of time. Like I said earlier, critting actually is like something that is nice in this game and makes things like relatively simple. So yeah, so we're gonna Sphere Grid here. We're gonna unlock a Strength node, the Haste node, and a Mana Sphere. So we need the mana specifically because. There we go. We need the Mana Sphere specifically because Titus needs to be able to cast Haste multiple times in a row. And if we don't get that, then he can't do that. So he starts with 10 MP. So we can immediately Haste Lulu. But later we'll have to actually go through and heal up, basically, before the Sahagins fight. So the Crane needs to respond. We're going to hit the Crane 3 times to make it usable, and then that'll basically kill the Obliterator for us. We'll have to do 1 hit with Lulu in between, but we'll get the final kill with Titus, basically. So you always get 1 Blitzball rush in the game, or in the run, but that works out pretty well. So we got haste, we got early haste, that's great. It's really nice to get early haste. It's usually kind of expected, I would say, in the run, but sometimes it just doesn't work out for you. Typically, when I've been talking with other runners in the community, as they've been giving me advice, as I'm a relatively newer runner compared to some people, a lot of it is like spending extra time on the early investments, as others in chat have said. It actually really pays off in the end, because it just makes things easier later, is the best way to say it. So a lot of early preparation is the best way to say it. All right, so that first hit, and then we attack to win. We're going to pay attention to our drop, really hope for a lightning sphere. No, oh, dang it. We got a metal shield. So the metal shield is actually lightning based, which is okay. But yeah, that's kind of sad. So no big deal. It's like it's the you were close but not close enough drop, basically. So yeah. So now we grab this save sphere just to make sure we're okay for the Sahagin fight. And we go into Blitzball. And we talk to Waka, and there we go. And here comes the big clench moment. Blitzball is so scary because really it is sort of down to RNG. If you get 3 Letties, that is perfect RNG. It's so great when you get 3 Letties, but when you get grabs like this, you know, you kind of just deal. So we're gonna go mark mode, and then left side. And this just makes it so that there's less like people attacking Grav initially. So he's going to pass immediately to, looks like Abyss. And then Abyss is going to be like immediately like attacked by both Titus and Letty. So we should theoretically get the save here. All right, yes, we do. All right, so as long as Keepa passes it to the right person, this is fine. So I'm going to press mash triangle as fast as I can. So we're going to manual A and normal. And I'm going to pass. I'm going to break to Abyss. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass to Chadley. I'm going to immediately pass again to Jasu. And the reason we pass to Jasu, so that what that one pass does is that gives Titus like basically a level in like the blitzball leveling system is the best way to say it. And then we pass to Jasu because Jasu has a unique set of stats that he is just fast enough that if you constantly swim with him, he cannot be caught by the other Luka goers. So it's pretty nice. But really, what we're just doing here is I'm just going to be sitting for the rest of this half of blitzball, and we're going to try and score once in the next half with Titus's sphere shot. I would have to see. Excuse me. With Titus's sphere shot, and then so we win 1-0. Minimal amount of like actual like interactions in blitzball, and we still win to get the strength sphere. That is the reward for beating it. So Anma, if you have anything to say about like the charity right now, this would be a good time. We're sitting around for about another minute and a half, basically.
All right, of course I do. Let me find it. All right. Yeah, so Green Gaming is speedrunning to save the planet. Each year we'll pick a charity that is looking to make an impact to our climate crisis. We only have one planet to live on, and we should do what we can to make sure we can coexist. This year we're supporting One Tree Planet, where every $1 plants one tree. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and I am if anyone is not aware, this is Earth Day today, so I think on every year it's going to be on Earth Day, which is really cool. And yeah, we'll be here all weekend, and I can't wait for next year because this year's lineup is already pretty solid, and this is it's like edition 1.5. Like we had a small edition in December, and this is the first big weekend. So this is looking pretty good, and thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone who's been helping, all the runners we've had, and we will have throughout the whole weekend. Thank you, Foxy. You did 2 games.
Yep, this is game number 2 for me. So yeah,
this is really happy to be showcasing. So much.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, you can see Chadley has Spear Shot already attached, so we're good to go. So now we're just going to hope here for Letty again, and then we'll be basically doing the same thing, except the only difference is that Letty, please. Oh, Graph. Wow. Thank you, game. The only difference here is that actually messed up right there. That's fine. But yeah. So we are going to be trying to score at a specific portion of the game. But yeah, the goers right here are really trying to give us a run for our money. Ooh. They can technically score on any of the 3. Oh man, this is not good. That was like the worst part. So like, there's a lot of RNG in this, in the sense that like. He can just choose who, like who it wants to throw it to, and if it throws it to a bad player, then it's kind of just like it just doesn't work out for us. So this is good. Now we're at Jasu. We're kind of already in like a weird spot where we're close to when we need to start like making our push to score, but this is fine. Yeah, that is actually what it's called, is the Blitzball Haters Club, which, obviously that's the best name for one of the best mini games ever, right? Keepa is the keeper. They were not very, let's say, not want to say big-brained, but sometimes not a lot of thought goes into these things, or at least like that's kind of the joke, right? Is that like, all right, come on, let go. All right, so this isn't working out super well, but it should be fine. I will have multiple chances to score as long as things sort of go my way a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna have to shoot from out here. Oh, that's really good. Okay, 23 is really, really, really good. I should definitely score here. Okay, we're good. We basically, at this point, unless something goes terribly wrong, we have 1 blitz ball, and it's okay. So, all I can really do, so the timer's gonna run out, and then at 3 minutes in, the game automatically forces you to put Waka back in the game, and then we just have another blitz off, basically, because the game like stops in the game, right? And so they redo the blitz off, or whatever it's called. But yeah, so Waka's coming back in. Like, all I gotta do now is hope for a Letty, and it's a Grav. That's not great. So I'm gonna hit mark mode, right side. And so as long as I get the ball, I basically win. It's basically just, it's not great. It's kind of taking, the game is taking its sweet time with a lot of this stuff, but really should be okay now. So he's trying to shoot. Bada has 10 attack and sometimes pulls off crazy stuff like that. So there we go. This is good. So we're going to pass to Jasu. Bada getting the ball is very scary and we do not like it. That's all I'll say. But there's one cool neat little trick that you can do that usually breaks the game, but it didn't work that well that time. So we're gonna start a Jasu train, like I mentioned. So Jasu, like I said, has just the right amount of speed that he can't be caught by the goers. So we just make a little train here until the timer runs out and we get our strength sphere, and we don't have to worry about like any funny business basically with the rest of the game. So I'm gonna go pick up Balgerda, and we'll have a nice little train going. Come here, Balgerda. Join the goers in glorious caboosing. Well, a boost is not in the caboose. It does work out pretty well. And so obviously the other, what do you call it? You can see the Aurochs is kind of chilling out, not sure what actually is going on, but yeah, all right. So that worked out well. Bada and Keepa doing work. We get the strength sphere, and now we have a bunch of attacks. So I'm gonna haste Titus right here. Use Waka as sort of a chump damage blocker, more or less. But basically, I'm just going to cheer 5 times here because that'll force Titus to get a... what do you call it? That'll force Titus to be able to get an overkill on every attack, basically. And so generally, the average is about 3 overkills, whereas typically we want... like I said, 3 overkills would give you about 3 extra power spheres on top of the 17 that you get here. So that's 2 cheers. So Waka now, if he crits, no, not quite. All right, that's 2 crits from Waka though, which is pretty funny. And yeah, we still get the blitzball music for the rest of this instead of like the Angie music that does come on. So that's 3 cheers. I believe it's okay. We'll just cheer twice here because get all 5, and then basically we won't have to worry about power spheres for the rest of the run. So there's just going to be marathon safe and not try to like blow through it for the most part. So now Waka will always kill. Titus will always overkill, and so at this point we should get at least 10 power spheres, which would be good for the rest of the run. And then if I make any mistakes with gritting, then we can basically just continue on as expected, right? So, because sometimes it is easy to make like just small mistakes with like gritting and stuff like that. Yo, Zik, thank you very much for the good luck. Chadley will bring me his best power. All right, so that would have been 2 crits with Titus so far. So we're looking pretty good. There we go. So that would have been 3. Usually the average is 3. I've actually gone times before where I've gotten like 2 crits, maybe 1, which is kind of funny. But yeah. Because we don't have to really worry about damage here, I'm just going to go ahead and start killing these off. And that's the last one. All right, so let's double check how many we got here. So 17 plus whatever number we get minus 17. So we got 11. So yeah, we're way over on power spheres now. So we don't have to worry about it anymore. So we only have to count out, I believe, 4 more speed spheres, chat. So thank you for counting with me. I appreciate it. This game is all about counting. So we try to do our best. So we're going to haste Orin here, because Orin's going to be our main damage dealer, and he can tank all the damage that the Garuda is going to be doing. So all Waka's going to be doing is healing, because Titus needs to attack 1 time, and Orin needs to attack 5 times. So I should have actually healed with Orin there. But actually, it doesn't matter if Titus lives through this. The only person that it matters who lives is Orin, because he just needs to, you know, survive. Yeah, so that's fine. Try to keep Waka alive while we can. After this next attack, I'm going to heal Orin. And an overkill. So technically I didn't even need those extra overkills. So if you get an overkill on the Garuda or on the enemy before this, you know, you win. It counts towards the extra. So yeah, and I got a Thunderball. Oh wow, that is super lucky actually. Yeah, a Thunderball with Waka is really good because it helps out with a later fight basically. So yeah, it's that's super convenient. All right, so now there's a huge whole cutscene. We're coming up on the laughing cutscene, so people do not let me forget. As soon as I run to the next section, I basically need to turn off the cutscene mod. So we're going to pick up this magic sphere and this HP sphere, which will be very important later. And everybody get ready to laugh. It's going to be very cringe. It's going to be really wonderful. I can be Titus. Everybody else can be Yuna. I don't mind. It's kind of what chat's feeling, right? Okay. So not this screen, but the next. Once we enter the next screen, I'll turn off the mod. And then we'll be ready to laugh. And it'll be a little bit before, but actually I think we have time still, but I'm just going to be very safe and I'm going to turn it off now. So I'm adding a little bit of extra time to the run just for safety, but yeah, it should be fine. Okay. So now we get the introduction of Orin coming through.
Sir Orin knows him. Do you think he'll find...
In any case.
I just want to make sure we get everything correct.
He's still in town.
And you get Orin's theme, which is actually a really dope bop. And Titus is being his baby self.
I wish to become.
We accept... But
I promised Braska.
you promised my father. Thank you, Sir Orin. You're welcome to join us.
And he comes.
Also, if you have Franker Phase Z, one thing that Sin hasn't mentioned probably, or Team Green Gaming hasn't mentioned, is that we both have Unilaph and Titus Laugh in chat.
Is Sir Jekt alive?
Can't say. Haven't seen him in 10 years.
I see.
You'll meet eventually.
Yes.
Oh.
What's our itinerary? Where are we?
Here we go, chat. It is time for the cutscene. Everybody clear your throat. Get a nice old drink of water.
How do we do this? Should we just laugh along?
And we just laugh along. It's first time doing it out loud, so it's going to be great. I'm going to turn my mic down just a teensy bit so I don't break people's ears.
Yeah, maybe.
But, you know, it'll be okay.
I really
So, yeah, we missed the scream earlier. But, you know, we're not going to get that.
You know what?
I hope the server comes back because we really don't need it. We don't need skips right now.
But summoners and their guardians are kind of like Spira's ray of light. A lot of people in Spira depend on us. I learned to practice smiling when I'm feeling sad, you know. I know it's hard.
Here we go, chat.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. It's gonna be great. Oh no.
Right. Now let's see what you can do. Come on.
Put my notes farther in front of my face so I can just spam this in chat.
This is weird.
I gotta sneeze again.
Try laughing out loud.
Oh, here we go. It's time.
Come on, show me.
Show her, Chadley. Show her.
Show her, Chadley. You can do it, buddy. There we go. We gotta breathe out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Ha 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 ha
Probably shouldn't laugh anymore.
That's just great.
You probably shouldn't laugh
Great therapy. We did it.
Oh yeah, we did it.
We did it. Good job. Thank you for doing that with me. If it was
Thanks
just
to
me-
you. It's such a great incentive. I love
That
it.
is- it's wonderful.
Funny.
It was your idea.
All right.
There's no way we should have skipped this masterpiece.
I'm glad we did it. Thank you, chat. Now for the rest of the cutscene skip incentives, or the cutscene, put back the cutscene incentives. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're worth it. You can trust me. I'm a speedrunner. I know things.
Just whistle.
Oh yeah, there's the Oren speech. I'm sure you don't want to miss
Oh
that.
yeah, the orange speech is great. It's all like peak early 2000s. Oh, early gaming and trying to be hardcore.
I always think of the voice actors when I see the Titus Life cutscene. Like,
Yeah.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall.
With all that happening.
What are you looking at?
Okay, so we have to finish out this section.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well then, all right. Now,
Thank you, Strahd.
we will go
Sad
to
you didn't join us.
Guardians.
Thank you, Foxy.
Don't
Thank you,
forget to
everyone who
Yes,
donated
thank
towards
you,
this
Anna.
wonderful thing.
Thank you. There's more to come. Donate, please keep donating. Just think about it. $1 is one tree. That's a lot. Like a tree's a lot.
Yeah. It's a whole damn tree.
It's a whole damn tree. All right, let me get this going. I've never loaded this up like this before, so I'm gonna exit and re-enter, and hopefully the cutscene mod works.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back, turn this bad boy on, go back up. There we go. And I'm back. All right. Okay. Welcome back, chat. So all we're going to be doing now, basically, is we have a forced encounter here with Oren, and then the rest of the time we're just going to be sprinting away as fast as we can.
It's awesome.
No way.
So Oren here can also crit, which would give us an extra power sphere that we don't need anymore, but you know, it kind of does happen. Never forget. Please put that on Twitter somewhere. Make me famous, chat. Alright, one free power sphere. And then we just run through. Hoping that we don't die. Ambushes would be very, very bad. This is kind of like the first portion. Oh no. Okay.
Correct.
So we kind of broke the cutscene mod. We'll see if it works alright.
Compared to Sid,
But I believe humans.
a good reply. I'm
So we're getting extra cutscenes here. We'll see how it works.
I am on a journey. My travels have taken me to fragile smile. They are counting.
I will.
So we might actually get cutscenes on the rest of Mihen because of that, which is good to know. But one nice thing here is we actually need to build Kimari's Overdrive with one of these bombs that we're going to be using for later. And then the rest of this, like I said, we're just going to be sprinting away. And thankfully, with the
I won't go
flee
so easy on you next time.
ability, we don't even have to worry about all this. Yeah, so we're going to get all the cutscenes in Miha and High Road now, which makes sense. I think what the game does is, or what the mod does is, like, basically runs you up and down all the way, and then teleports you back. So you don't have to do all this stuff. But that's just fine. It's like a minute or two at most that gets added.
Good.
Maybe 5. So, enjoy the extra content, chat. Free content has been provided to you for $200.
Let's.
What?
It's the right.
It's the right.
What the?
Eject.
More marathon for your buck, exactly. Alright, so I do have to talk to this one guy after this encounter. So you pick up a Hunter Sphere, which we're going to be selling later, because there's a weapon that we want that has a ability that gives us more preemptives, which just basically reduces the amount of, like, you know, times that we can die, basically. And it's useful later because we'll use it on Orin. So that's really about it. Nothing too crazy.
Hey, I'm a guardian now, so watch out.
Oh, we get it, Titus. Thank you. Also, Titus's quips are kind of like some of the worst things because you just hear the same ones over and over again. Which is not the worst thing, but, you know, it's like, ugh, please, man. And then here comes our first ambush. So really all we can hope for at this point is that we don't die. Especially Titus, which, you know, talking about that that thing where people need to escape when they're near death, this is the prime example of it. So there we go. So here we just use Yuna's cure abilities to get everybody back into full health anytime we get an ambush, and then keep moseying, basically. So
I'll be right back.
okay.
I'll be right back.
This is kind of one of the longer sections too, of just kind of like just running forward, with like kind of just bated breath of hoping you don't die. There's because we don't want to fight anything here; it would just take too long. It's just not a lot of fun. So yeah, I think we're good on transitions though. So thankfully, with the screen transition, I think we don't get any more of the stuff because it looks like everything's already preloaded because we didn't get the Callie cutscene and the cart carrying the Sin Spawn is already off to the side, so we don't have to talk to Shalinda or anything. So it's just that one little bit of Machin and the Chocobo Knights that we get to go through, which is like, those aren't the worst characters in the game, so, you know, I'll definitely take that. I will say that I haven't tested out a lot of this this mod before, like turning it on and off so much, just because it's kind of tedious to do. So yeah, this is, sorry guys, you're also sort of my guinea pigs for doing this in future marathons, basically. So yeah, appreciate y'all's time and effort. Alright! Titus doing his best Meg Ryan. I actually don't even know who Meg Ryan is. Only one ambush so far. I'm probably gonna curse myself with this. So here's to hoping, cross fingers, that we don't get many more ambushes either here or later in the game. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Are we gonna get no? Oh my God! Wow! It's that actually feels so good, honestly. Oh man, I can't tell you because a lot that last like few steps where I didn't get an encounter right there, that is so rare. I feel like at the end of the day, I usually get kind of backloaded on them. All right, so now nice music. We talk to Rin. We get some mega potions. An Albed thingy, an Albed primer, and now we get to go face the Chocobo Eater. So the Chocobo Eater is a pretty simple fight. We're actually going to let it win, basically. We don't want to wipe, but we're going to haste the Chocobo Eater so it gets more turns, and we're going to hope that it pushes us off the edge. Pushes us off the edge. So this is kind of good, actually, because what I would like to try and do, which is not going to happen, is I'm going to switch Waka for the Thunderball to get that out of the way. I'm going to switch Kamari for nobody. And hope, basically, that it does another push. So that was actually a pretty good fight at the end of the day. Nothing really too bad to worry about. Alright, so I'm going to hit this save sphere. We can now play Blitzball, which is cool. I'm going to switch out Kamari for Orin because we need this formation later for a specific way, again, of like building overdrives, getting the right of attacks with it, basically with how it works with what will be enemy formations later. So we're done here, no haste, and we just run away. So this would be the last instance that you could basically get the self-destruct ability, or overdrive, excuse me, for Kamari, which is, you need that for the fight. Oh, this is kind of scary. I might wipe here. No. That attack is very scary because it basically lowers everybody's health to like ridiculously low levels. And the only person that can survive typically is Orin, and then we're in the whole like, I should have switched out for somebody else now that I think about it. Like, they just don't want to run away, and you're like, why are you not running away? Please run away. Like, this is all I need you to do, is to run. You need to survive. You're the last character. Why, like last two, you have such low health. Like, why are you not running? So it's something that drives me up a wall, because it's just, I don't know. Why would you not? I guess, but you know, it's JRPG logic. It's not the most logical thing, you know. And then ambushes like that also take a ton of time, just because you have to wait through all the enemy turns when you don't get any. So that's why really ambushes, you just want to avoid them as much as possible. But, you know, the game gives you what it gives, more or less. So, yep. So we're almost done with the old road. Pretty simple. There would be a cool skip coming up. A very simple one, yet very cool skip. That would skip some dialogue sections for Mushroom Rock as it starts when you talk to Klasko, who's one of the Chocobo Knights. But we don't have to do that because the cutscene mod skips all those, so it's pretty rad. So the cutscene mod makes the game very simple and just very kind of like to the point, basically, about everything that we need to be doing for the most part. It's really all about kind of just going very hard on being, you know, really good about your game knowledge, and at the same time your inputs, you know, just the whole shebang, basically, without having to worry about the extra bits, is the best way to say it. So I do have to go talk to this gentleman here, where I'd say don't tell me about the operation, just kind of start things.
Thank you for your.
And then we're going to talk to Seymour. We're going to pop around a little bit because we can't skip everything perfectly, but you know, hey, we can launch some code in the background, which is all the mod is doing, and then we run in. All right. So now we have one little scary bit left, because typically you're going to get about 1 or 2 encounters in here, depending on your movement and just kind of general luck. So that's the first encounter. And then one more before we actually go into the true set of Mushroom Rock Road. Alright, good. So I'm going to touch the save sphere just to be safe. And so what I'm looking for here is, I typically, like, based on the length of Mushroom Rock Road, you have about 3 encounters that you have to kind of basically roll the dice on, hoping that you get what's called a Fungar encounter. So you want an enemy formation that includes a Fungar. The thing is that when overkilled, they give very high amount of AP. Well, they get very high AP in general, so we don't have a Fungar here, so I'm just going to flee away.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
And then, you know, just hope for the next mod. So I get 3, I should go for 3. And then on the third encounter, I just take whatever's there, as long as it's, you know, it's not going to kill me, more or less. So 2 out of 3, let's just kind of hope we get a Fungar, because that just makes life easier. It's just a lot less like trying to micromanage the enemies that you get and trying to kill them later. Okay, so no Fungar, this is fine. We'll just kind of go about our lives. So I'm going to switch out to Kamari. I'm going to defend with Waka. And then switch to Yuna, and I'm going to Energy Ray specifically this time, just because it's a faster overdrive is the main thing. And we don't need to worry about like doing too much damage here. We're just trying to, you know, kind of pop out the damage quickly. And this is where I'm going to do the biggest amount of like sphere gridding that I will, like, for the beginning part of the game. because basically Waka, Kimahri, and Yuna are going to be gridding together. Fungwar. Yeah, I don't know. If I say something funny, feel free to tell me. I don't know if it's like some sort of weird dyslexia with my brain or something, but if I read something, I tend to read very quickly. And so okay, we have 2 more Spirit Spheres. So we use a Magic Sphere here. The main point is we want to make sure that Valefor can one-shot a Fungar with a magic attack is the main thing. But yeah, I typically pronounce things sort of funny. Yeah, that is true. But yeah. It's a Renegade. Come here, Kimahri. Oh, Kimahri doesn't have enough. That's fine. Return to main menu. Alright, so now we're going to switch back to the formation again of... And we're going to abilities. Yuna, we're just going to heal quickly. And so now what we're going to be working towards is making sure that Valefor's Overdrive gets charged. Alright, so now because Kimahri didn't actually kill something, it's going to attack this guy. Waka is going to hit this. Oh, I switched to the... I messed up. That's... Haha. I jumped the gun. What's nice, though, is that the Raptor can't hit Valefor anyway, so it works out really well. So we'll just kill that last. Yeah, yeah. Was that actually retconned? All right. So we have it launched you. So let me double check this real quick. If there's still a guard water, otherwise if they want to fire the launch to boost. Okay, there. So I'm gonna fire this launch to. Sorry, there's a very long like if-then statement here that it's always hard to remember, and it's been a little while since I've ran this. I should have boosted twice. Okay. Arceus. Yeah, I also thought it was Arceus as well. Alright, so what we're going to do here is kind of micromanage our abilities. And hopefully not die, but we'll see. We should be okay. Doing stuff on the fly to make it work. There we go. All right. Black Magic, Blizzard, and we win. Okay. This is good because now everybody in that... I have more than enough sphere levels to correct everything that I just did, so that's good. One more Speed Sphere, so what was that? All right. So now Yuna, we just basically give her this Speed Sphere and this Magic Sphere, and that gives her the damage that we need, basically, for the rest of the time. Yep. Alright, so formation, we switch out Kimahri for this, and then we go to abilities for Yuna, and we heal. Okay, and now we're good to go. So a little bit of extra time spent in Mushroom Rock Road, no big deal. And there's the exact Fungar encounter that we usually want to get, but no big deal.
I'll be right back.
Glad I was able to correct that. It's kind of sad sometimes when you make like small mistakes like that, but no big deal. Typically what you actually want to do is
I will go so
in the
easy on you
Gui
next
fight,
time.
you have the opportunity to switch weapons with Waka, and so that's where you actually want to do it if you do get a Thunderball, because there's no point otherwise, because you always have to do the weapon switching, so there's no reason to do it otherwise. So we're gonna skip this dude because we'll have more than enough gil for the weapon that we're gonna be buying. That was actually quite a while without getting an encounter too, so that almost worked out weirdly well in our favor.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
So Titus and Yuna are our fastest party members right now, and they're just going to have basically the perfect amount so that everybody is going to get the appropriate amount of turns to lead us up into the next area. Alright, so we made it to the command center. We're good to go. No more encounters. Mushroom Rock Road is also very scary because of the ambushes that you can get. So those ambushes really kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not downplaying them, but I guess I'm not probably showing how scared I am at the end of the day, that it can really just end my run and make everybody like, you know, just have to watch me load up the game again. It's a little rough, but you know, we're good so far. The only thing that can happen sometimes with the cutscene skip mod is that this Gui fight can be a little precarious and cause the game to crash. So hope we don't crash. Usually if you crash once, you don't crash twice. So we'll see how that happens, but you know, no big deal. Yeah. So now we're just going to go talk to Awaka once more. We're going to sell basically everything in our inventory. Not everything, quite a bit of things. All right, so we're going to sell items. We're going to sell all of our potions, all of our high potions, our elixirs, our X potions, and then 2 of our 3 mega potions, because we need 1 mega potion for let's see, Cactuar Spoke, Bright Arm Guard, White Water Moon, but we kind of just sell everything. Alright, we buy the Sentry, we equip it, and we keep everybody that we have. We have to hit the save sphere, and then we go in, and we're good to go. Kind of just run around, help loot the area, talk to this dude. Am I ready? We are, and so let's go to the Gui fight. So one thing that does happen here is that we do, after this there will be a short cutscene that we have to watch, but nothing too crazy for there. So now first we're going to switch Yuna for Orin, and we're going to power break. That's just going to make it so that Valefor will live, because we have to overdrive twice, basically. So Thunder's fine. Alright, Titus is going to defend. Now we're going to switch our weapon to the Thunderball, like I mentioned. And then we're going to switch for Kimahri. Kimahri is going to self-destruct, and the reason we get those HP nodes on Kimahri is because his damage is based off of, what do you call it? The self-destruct damage is like 3 times your max health, and so 3 times your max health with all of that is perfectly enough to overdrive twice with Valefor and win. So, pretty easy. Yeah, the hard C in Arceus is an interesting thing. I thought Arceus just always sounded better, but you know, they'll do what they want, I guess. I'm not surprised the Pokemon Company did it. So, all right. So we should get we should get another 2 demis here. That should put us possibly over. We'll see. No, actually, that won't charge our overdrive. But basically what I'm going to do here is so because I didn't fully charge, I'm going to shield until I get a physical attack to make sure I live. And once I get a physical attack, a demi always follows a physical attack. So that just guarantees that, you know, I live more or less. All right. Boost. All right. Sorry, double checking my notes here. This is very rare that this happens. Let's say this. It's just kind of like a fail safe. There we go, and we energy blast 1 more time, and we win. This boss is a Giratina. Well, this is a Giratina about 10 years before Giratina came out. When was Gen 4? 2010. This game came out in 2000. Or 2001. It was 2001. Either way. Alright. So we have a forced cutscene here. I'm going to stand up. Take my headphones off for a hot second. Oh, you guys can enjoy my Distant Worlds t-shirt that I got for being a nerd and spending money. Stretch the legs. Everybody get up and stretch. Make sure that you got your water filled. Everything else. Enjoy the 5% of cutscene that you get from the full game. Look at my dog. My dog.
Fire!
Oh, alright. Sit back down.
Charge!
Alrighty. So this last little bit cutscene, there's one that we can skip right here. Gen 4 was 2006? Oh my goodness. Well. I know, it's so great. Like, I only really wear it around the house when I'm streaming, or if I go to like a nerd convention, I'll wear it, and then I'll see other people with it and be like, they know. Alright. So we don't have Yuna's Overdrive filled, so we're just going to Thundara our way to victory with Seymour, because it's the one time Seymour goes into our party. And then we just defend with everybody else. There is, like, sometimes you can somehow get, like, a sneaky Yuna Overdrive, and that's actually faster. So that you can... Because, well, to explain, Yuna's Overdrive basically forces your Aeon into having a charged Overdrive. So, what do you call it? So if you have it here, you basically just have Seymour Thundara twice, and then you Energy Blast one more time, and it saves quite a bit of time overall. But yeah, no, I've been to 4 Distant Worlds so far. Thinking I would like to go to a 5th, but I'm also kind of interested in going to the FF7 remake, like Symphony, or possibly the what's it called, the one where it's like all strings basically. All right, so big hope here that we're not going to crash. Also, the boss flipped. I forget what it's called, but it's also a really good show, too. All right, I think we're good. Yep. All right, no crash. That saves so much time. That worked well. So all we're going to do here, go through, we're going to talk to them. We have to talk to Auron specifically. And then we have to talk to somebody in the party. And in the normal speedrun, Auron's the closest. And then in the full speedrun, like I was saying, Auron is the shortest cutscene when you're riding in between the crawler fight and going to the temple. All right, so we're going to hit here. We're going to sphere grid our best boy Chadley. Unlock some more strength and speed. We're going to go to Waka. I'm going to unlock this power sphere. Formation, get rid of Kimahri for Chadley. Not save. Rest, and then we're going to run. So the only thing we have to do here is specifically get the Stone Breath ability for Kimahri. So really all we're looking to do here is Tidus should go first now based off of his speed stat always. It's usually, it sometimes can be a speed tie with Yuna, but typically Tidus is always going to go first. And then we're going to switch out Kimahri, Tidus or Kimahri. Kimahri's going to charge his overdrive on a Basilisk, and then Yuna will immediately go next. And then this is also a preempt, so it doesn't matter. So Kimahri will charge, it'll lance it, and we're going to store this for the rest of time, basically. And now we can just flee with Tidus, and everything's fine. So now we're going up on the Jose Temple. The Jose Temple is pretty simple. It was definitely one where, as a kid, was like more of something that, like, you know, very confusing with some of like the weird inputs that you have to do. Oh, this is so, wow. So fun fact: this bird enemy is like one of the rarest enemies in the game. Not like rarest, but like its encounter rate is oddly low. Is the best way to say it. Like, when you're doing like full playthroughs of like either Nemesis percent or just your own casual playthrough and trying to capture all monsters, usually that bird is the one that people are like, why does it take so long to get? Like, it's so weird. Like, that one specifically is like, you know, like the hardest enemy to find and takes the longest usually. So it's a little weird. But yeah. So now we just kind of run through. We don't get to talk to, we don't even get to learn who Isaru is, basically. And we just run through. All right. So now this is the temple. Temple's pretty simple. These first two you just put in. The hardest thing to know about this is like how to put the glyph sphere into the like how to make a glyph sphere basically with like the electrical circuit is the best way to say it. And then the hardest thing for me as a kid was that once you unlock that bit and get the, like, I guess it's called the cloister or the whatever that is, the pedestal into the electricity, you have to press the X button to actually get it to like like for you to jump onto it, and there's no prompt or anything for it. It just kind of does it, so you're just kind of like, why am I here? What's happening? I'm so confused. Yeah, okay. So we're going to push this pedestal over. We're going to complete the circuit here in a second. Going to turn this Jose sphere into a double Jose glyph sphere. And ta-da, magic. I'm going to run back this way, activate this pedestal. Put this in. And then at no point in any of the cloisters do we get like the special like destruction sphere portion of like, you know, the extra item. It's complete. They're all like basically useless for the speed run, and at no point do we need any of them. Really, at the end of the day, the things that we need to keep are Yuna's normal staff, Orin's. We're gonna buy a shimmering blade for Orin, and that's really about it. Like, there's really nothing that we really need outside of those things in terms of like end game and other sorts of things. The only big thing is that there's the possibility that my drops are going to be different at a certain point in the game, and I'll have to like update my route to something that is extremely uncommon, is the best way to say it. But at the end of the day, you know, it's something that I'm not like super concerned about. So we'll need to grab the sphere, and then we'll teleport the pedestal back, and then grab the other two. So. Okay, and we're in the last little section, and then Ixion is actually, funnily enough, one of the only other Aeons that we're going to use in the game, specifically because for the Isaru fight in the Via Purifico, he uses Bahamut at some point, so we have to use Ixion for one of the fights. It's kind of funny. So that's really about it. Pretty simple. Not much to talk about there. I will say for the donation incentives for the Bavel one, we're starting to get there. We're not. Say we're about 45 minutes out from it, if I'm guessing correctly in my brain. It's weird sometimes to think about like where I am and like what all is coming through. So.
Actually, about the Bavel incentive, it disappeared from the Tiltify. I think it expired, so...
Oh, all right. Well,
sorry, guys, but, like, we still have a long ways to go for the Auron speech incentive, so I would just encourage everyone to just pool their money towards this one so that we can make sure that we get another incentive met and get that Auron speech.
That'd be wonderful. And there's a fun little a fun little chat command that exists for it, so it's fun to use. It's a good meme in the Final Fantasy X running community, so something fun to have. So any sort of incentive is good, guys. Donate for trees.
Yes, please.
But all right, so now we're here. We don't get to see Bartillo shaking Orin's hand. We just get Yuna not walking. Oh, she does walk out. All right, and then we get the name Ixion. As Ixion. Alright. So now we just run through. We have to grab, but you can kind of test your luck if you want. There's an item here and a chest a remedy specifically that will be used for a later fight. Sometimes you don't need it, but it's always like why you wouldn't get it is the best thing, is the, you know, like the main thing. So little cutscene. We pick up 4,000 gil because we need that for some buying sections in the Thunder Plains, and then we outie. Only like less than 10 minutes in Jose, whereas usually it takes quite a while.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Oh yeah, sure.
Looks like we lost also the Auron cutscene. So basically the only person who can control the incentives in Tiltify is Sineth, and he's currently sleeping, and we will not wake him up for this. He has been working so hard and he really needs his sleep. But whoever gives towards, so I'm putting the Bevel cutscene back on deck, because you can just write a comment. You can write it in your donation to say like towards which incentive you're donating. So just writing in your donation if you want to see those cutscenes, and we'll know.
Yeah,
we'll tally them up. Yes,
we will know.
So you can still donate towards the Bevel grind and the Auron speech. Thank you.
Hey guys, please donate towards those. They're great. Like I said, this is my favorite game of all time, and the Bevel grinding scene is like my favorite like cutscene in the game. I don't know. A lot of people give me crap for it because it's just it's very anime at the end of the day, but I don't care. My nostalgia will make me live through everything. I don't care at all. So, all right. Okay, but yeah, so this is another section of like running away. There's nothing really we have to do here to keep track of or try and maintain. The enemies here aren't going to kill us. The ambushes are very unlikely to do so. There's no like really powerful enemies here, so nothing really big going on. We do have to pick up a magic defense sphere for later portions, but you know, not too crazy. It's kind of just right there for us. Hopefully we get very few encounters. And preempts are good, and so that's why we have Auron in the party too, is because of that initiative ability that the weapon that we bought has. So it's more likely to give us preempts and less ambushes. So yep, we're gonna run straight past Belgamine as well. Belgamine, like, we have no use for the things that she could give us for Aeons in general. It's not, you know, a big deal. So everything that we need is just purely through sphere gridding and the like. So yep. Nothing too crazy.
I should have slept in this morning.
All right. Well, me too, bud.
I'll be right back.
Because I'm gonna be up way later than I usually am tonight. But you guys are all here with me, and that makes it easy. So, all right. Here's the magic defense sphere, and then we go straight through. And fair anime is definitely not a bad thing. I completely agree. Okay. Oop. Should be the last encounter that we have to go through. Typically, if Chadley gets to about around the 400 HP mark is when we want to start like being concerned about his health, but really at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. All right. So now we get to skip all these funny little cutscenes. There we go. And we just have to enter this little scene here real quickly because that's like us talking to the Chocobo Knights, and then there's the Raizishu Puff. All right, let's go on. And then we skip the whole lake scene, and we're immediately into the extractor fight. So the extractor has about 4,000 HP. We want to try to like get a good like kick into where we're going, but it's not a huge deal. I'm going to save Chadley's overdrive, but we are going to use Waka's overdrive. You can't tell me the Shoe Pup isn't the best character, honestly. Alright, so we're going to start counting. So that's 300. Yeah, that's without me skipping the dialogue too. I specifically left it going just for that. All right. All right, 600. Close to 700 with rounding. 1100. That's 3 cheers. And so now I should basically survive. So this is Extractor's third turn. And so before the fourth turn, I'll use Thunder Reels. That's about 2k. And then because I have the lightning ball and I'm going to be using something else that should end the fight pretty quickly. I like to take my time with that. It only wastes like 5 to 10 seconds, so it's not a big deal. But this should be the end of the extractor. No, actually not. Interesting. But we're still going to kill it. We don't need to really worry about, like, what's the word here? We don't need to worry about, like, overkilling or anything. There we go. Easy peasy. We get a Mega Phoenix, which is very useful later. And then we just run out and we go find Riku. Thankfully, no encounters here as well. One thing that technically would be faster, but we've already used potions because there's a whole thing here basically with this encounter because we have more than enough ability spheres for the rest of the game, and we need the bomb cores that we steal from this chest. You can save time by using 2 potions instead of 2 ability spheres, because the 2 ability spheres kills the Raldo. I think this is what it's called. But 2 potions because it's more of just how do I say this like briefly? If you still need power spheres, this technically counts towards 2 of like the 37 because it's generally expected that you're going to get it. But if you somehow have extras by this point, then use potions because it's faster. That's the best way to say it. Abilities, Yuna, Cure. And we're gonna formation RN with Yuna, and there we go. So now we have the the preempt weapon equipped in our party, and we'll hopefully be fine. So there we go. Good to go. And let's mosey. So now we're going over to Guada Salam. Guada Salam's gonna be really, really fast. The main thing we have to pick up at Guada Salam that we really don't have to worry about now is there's a lot of like extra dialogue, but there we go. There's a lot of extra dialogue in the normal run that you would use to make sure that like Auron is going to be like basically your favored with the affection rating, but
I'll be right back.
Again with this it doesn't matter, so it just skips through all of it and it's no big deal. So we've also got 10k gil, which is really good, which means I don't really have to worry about buying anything extra throughout all of this. I'm pretty certain.
Live and let live.
Usually I'm not keeping track of my gil this early in the game, but we'll see. Because we do have to buy some things in Thunder Plains, like I mentioned before, which would be a new weapon for Auron, some Phoenix Downs, and new weapon for Auron, some Phoenix Downs, and some grenades for the rest of the run. So just to quickly go through this, we run backwards because it somehow forces us into here. We run in. We are automatically put out, and then we leave. So there's like over like 10 minutes of cutscene there that we're just skipping through, which is very nice. But yeah, this is one of the more cutscene heavy areas of the game. There's also a neat little skip that you can use to not have to like do like the whole Thunder Plains like intro. Here we got to pick up lightning marbles. These lightning marbles are so conveniently placed for like the more upcoming parts of the game that it's actually a little like scary. Like if it's basically the devs intended it that you would use Riku for these things, and so it's very nice that they kind of helped us out in that way, to say the least. All right, so now we're done with all of the Farplane. We're going to go back down, chat with the folks, and then we can just immediately leave. Well, actually, we have done with Riku. We got to run back down again, do this Shalinda cutscene technically, but it's all seconds. That at the end of it, by the time that you set up the Guadasalam skip, you're already like just done. So it's just not worth it to try and get a skip that could possibly fail when in this version of the game or with the mod. Basically, it doesn't matter is the best way to say it. So now we're in the Thunder Plains. Great music. The Thunder Plains are wonderful except terrible at the same time, because if you've ever played this game before, the lightning strikes are an absolute nightmare.
Live and let live.
The lightning strikes are a nightmare. They can hit you as you're cutting them out of a battle when you technically still don't have control of Chadley. So it's kind of like, what's the point, of me getting hit? But you just kind of deal as you go. It only deals one little like spoke of damage to Titus, so you kind of just roll with the punches and hope that you don't get struck too many times, basically. And you also can't mash if you didn't know that. So mashing actually makes it not work. I don't know why specifically, but you do have to actually time the the lightning rod stuff. I think one of the cooler things that I've seen like on the internet about this area is like a guy made like a what is it called? A Raspberry Pi that like reacted to the flash of light on the screen, and like made it so that it would automatically do the lightning like the lightning skips or the lightning dodges for him, which is kind of nutty. To get 200 in a row without cheesing it, basically. Yeah, your first playthrough, you are certainly going to get struck a lot. But if you just barrel through, typically like lightning only happens maybe once or twice, 3 times if you're like really unlucky. So again, we just avoid all the enemies here. Doesn't really matter. Not a big deal, So we're at the end here already. That was actually a pretty good set of encounters. We get forced into here. Try to walk in quickly so we skip Riku's dialogue. Yuna's tired, and here we go buy stuff. So we go to the Rin Traveler, so we're going to buy items. We're going to buy 3 Phoenix Downs. I'm going to buy 4. I'm going to buy 4 grenades. And then I'm going to be done, and I'm going to buy a Shimmering Blade. Oh, actually, and then I don't need that, so I actually bought... let's see, and we don't need the Scout anymore. Alright, so we're done. I have to actually re-equip Auron with the Sentry, and we're good to go. So you need to have 7k.
She's not going to...
You have to talk to Riku. Had a little bit of a brain fart there, because in the full game run, you have to talk to Auron. Alright, now we're good to go. So I bought some extra stuff, which caused me to, be a little over, but it's not a big deal. So Riku, we need 1 lunar curtain here, or light curtain, excuse me. We switch out for him, we defend, gets murdered, and we flee. And so Riku actually has really high speed as well, so what we want to do with Yuna is heal her, just so we're safe. So we need to build Riku's Overdrive for the next boss fight, because at this point, the Riku Overdrive abuse is our main DPS, and that's really all we care about. So, but if Titus gets under about 400 HP, that's where he's like, if he gets targeted too much by an ambush or something like that, where we need to be a little careful with his HP levels. So right here, we're going to be safe and get some extra speed spheres. We should be good, but hey. But now we fully built Riku's Overdrive. We don't need to worry about it, and that was actually a pretty good. Like set more or less. And now we're good to go. Now we can just flee for the rest of the time. And once we get to Macalania Woods, we will have to steal from a couple more enemies, just to make sure we're rounding out, because what we're preparing for is the Sephiromorph fight, so or the Spheromorph, excuse me. The Spheromorph, not Sephiromorph, that's me saying things funny again. But for the Spheromorph fight, it basically has a random element that it's assigned in the beginning of its, like in the beginning of the boss fight, and so we strike it once with a grenade to have it basically tell us what the element that it's on is, and then we counteract with the you know the wrong element basically, or the opposite element, which is it is weak to. So we want to have an item of all 4 elements basically to be able to hit it with and kill it in one shot, more or less. Because again, literally besides 3 characters, we are completely like unsphere gridded basically. 4 characters technically, but anything worthwhile damage-wise that our characters are going to be doing in these fights is just completely moot and not worth it, right? So that's really about it. So as we come up, there we go. We're going to talk to Orin, skip through all that. We're going to technically heal real quick. There's a chest with 2,000 gil in here, and then what I'm going to need to steal from is 1 chimera and 1 blue element. And that's all I really need to do. And otherwise, we're just skipping through the rest of this. So, Anma, if you have anything to say, anything to read about the charity or a donation possibly, feel free to take your time here.
All right, thank you, Foxy.
Live and let live.
It's getting on the night shift on Team
Yeah.
Green Gaming. It's pretty quiet, but
Yeah.
I see y'all there. We still have people in chat, so thank you for sticking with us tonight on day 2 of Green Gaming Fest 2022. We really appreciate it. We are raising money towards One Tree Planted, which is a non-profit on a mission to make it simple for anyone to help the environment by planting trees. Their projects span the globe and are done in partnership with local communities and knowledgeable experts to create an impact for nature, people, and wildlife. Reforestation helps rebuild forests after fires and floods, provide jobs for social impact, and restore biodiversity. Many projects have overlapping objectives, creating a combination of benefits that contribute to the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. So, thank you so much to One Tree Planted for what you do, and we are really proud to associate with you for this big weekend. We have already, we will be contributing to towards planting 828 trees in the future, so thank you so much, everyone, for your generosity, and let's keep it coming. We have some cool incentives coming for this run for cutscenes, so don't forget to put it in your donation, in your little description, in your donation comment, if you want to donate towards the Bevel Grind cutscene or the Auron Speech cutscene. So if I understand correctly, Foxy, the Bevel Grind cutscene is coming, right?
Yeah, we're getting pretty close, actually. We've got about 3 more areas to go through, so it's about 30 minutes, I believe, until that one is going to be here. And then it'll be around the probably around the 3-hour mark for the, oh no, Riku's going to die again. This is so bad. Sorry. About the 3-hour mark for the cutscene for the Auron Now stuff. So a lot of just fun things to just experience in the game if you haven't seen it before, and just kind of see what we in the Final Fantasy X speedrunning community do. So yeah, really great if you got it.
Absolutely. Keep them coming, chat. Thank you for being there with us tonight.
Yes, thank you. Please help me stay awake. This is hardcore my bedtime already, so I need the fuel on the fire. Alright,
I
please
feel that
don't
as well.
target Riku. Oh, thank God. Okay. Sorry. It was 3 times in a row that Riku died, and I just need to steal from this one enemy. Alright, there we
I'll
go.
be right back.
And I need a Chimera now too, just to round it out. But okay, thank you. Alright. Abilities, we've been healing a lot. Alright, I'm gonna crack open my next seltzer water. Usually what I would do here... Usually what I would do here is touch that butterfly. It's a mini game specifically where
I won't go so easy on you next time.
just allow you're supposed to run through the forest and touch all the butterflies, and it helps you get oh my goodness, it helps you get Kimari's ultimate weapon, but it's if you're running the other way, so it basically allows us to not have encounters for the most part for the last part of it. So I'll just show it off here. Okay, perfect. Now we're good to go.
Live and let live.
Kind of sucks. Usually you get either a lot of a certain kind of encounter. So we got a lot of everything but chimeras. whereas usually chimeras are a bit heavy. So you can see all these butterflies appeared, and it's part of the mini game, but we can just use that to run to the end of this little section without having to like to do anything. So yep. So now here we go. Welcome to Awaka's. We're gonna look at a weapon. We're gonna look at weapons. We're gonna too expensive. It's too pricey. All right. So we got weapons. Yes, we do. We're gonna buy the Sonic Steel and equip it. And so now we don't have to worry about ambushes for the rest of the game, basically. And we're gonna run through here, and let me double check. I believe it is Kimari. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, Titus Unit Kimari. All right. There we go. Sorry, guys. Like I said, it's been a hot minute since I've done this. It's very late at night. So usually I don't run this late. So I'm trying to like just make sure my brain is in order. All right. So Titus's first turn, we're going to change our armor to the yellow shield, which will come in handy later. And then we're going to defend. Then we're going to switch Riku for Titus. We're going to use one of the grenades that we bought. And what is it? Blizzard. All right, so we need to use fire. So defend. We're going to mix the magic defense sphere with the bomb cores that we got. And we're going to win. For massive damage. Checking my notes, yeah. Honestly, if you're interested in speedrunning this game, I'll just say it now. This is one of the most, like, easy to get in speedruns because the notes are just that good. Like, everything is detailed basically to everything that you literally need to do, and it just makes everything, like, super relaxed for the most part. So, definitely, like, don't be afraid. It's a long run, but the cutscene skip makes it very manageable. Alright, so now we're going to sphere grid. Kimari is going to be our other like damage dealer sort of for the next upcoming fight. Thanks to him being so close to Riku's sphere. Do not use that. Use 2 ability spheres to get steel. In use, Riku is going to go here, and we're going to activate the speed sphere. I actually lost a run because I accidentally activated the wrong sphere. Yuna is going to go up this way, activate this HP sphere. We're going to use this level 2 key sphere. And then this is going to be the start of Yuna becoming super strong. This isn't going to do anything for her, basically. But this is that, that early preparation that we were talking about. Alright, so now we just go to Yuna, heal up, just to be safe, and then we're going to do formation. I believe it is Kimari, Lulu, and Chadley. Yep. And that's good to go. And so once again, we're going to be going through and doing the exact same thing that we did before. So you usually get one encounter here,
Live and let live.
just because it's such a long run. Oh yeah, it is an absolute godsend. Like, it's just convenient at the end of the day, Because as much as everybody wants to watch an entire run, taking an entire day for it is kind of a big deal, All right. So now we're gonna switch Titus for Riku. Titus will get a turn later. We're gonna use these lightning marbles. Oh, I forgot to switch my items actually. I forgot to sort. Usually you would sort your items to make everything a little bit more, what's the word? Amicable. Taco Tuesday raid. Well, I wish I had tacos. That's all I'll say. All right. And so now what we're basically doing is trying to get Riku's overdrive built and also low enough health on the crawler that we can actually go through things the right way. Yep. So Lulu will be here to Phoenix down after Kimari gets hit. After Kimari gets hit, he'll be switching out for Yuna and Titus basically to make it so that they can, get their turns in Yeah. Well, I think after the FF8 run, I think they're a little bit more, what's the word? Precarious about the super long runs at the end of the day. Yeah, I could go for tacos, trust me. Alright, and now we use an HP sphere and the lightning marble, and we win. When I'm running sleep percent, oh man, I would love to be running sleep percent right now, let me tell you. All right, and we're good to go. So now we instantly go through, and here we go. This is the big menu. Let's see how far I get without my notes. So we go here, we activate the power sphere. Power sphere, speed sphere. I have to look, and then use. Yeah, it went over estimate, which GDQ is typically. This is what we need the strength spheres for. It really makes a huge difference for the entire run. Oops, I do not want to move here. That's for sure. Nope. Move. Yeah, definitely go back and watch it. It's a great run. Like Mutsky has done a very good job of like being an ambassador to like a lot of the communities. And like getting them into bigger things like GDQ. All right, and we're good to go. And we don't need to worry about formation here, simply because it's this upcoming fight against Seymour is one of the fights that actually like what do you call it? It's one of the fights that you are forced into having a certain set of like characters in the fight to begin with. Yeah, and there was also like I don't want to say drama, but there was some issues with the fact that technically one of the runners that they wanted to have on the count like run with them didn't have a run that either was underestimate or didn't have a run on the board. I forget what it was. And then after like basically people like getting all up in arms about it, GDQ finally folded and was like, okay, fine, we'll let you do the run. And then the run was overestimate. So it was kind of just like a whirlwind of like worst things, more or less, from my understanding. And I think they're a lot more like tentative about really long runs and really adhering to their rules, basically. So this is gonna be a fun fight. So just pay attention and watch as we kind of build up what will be the drama of making sure we are, like I said, just hitting the edge of making sure that we can finish fights in this game. It's kind of crazy. So I'm gonna switch to the Brotherhood, and I'm gonna haste myself. And so Seymour is going to Blizzara. We'll see who it is. Yuna. All right, I'm going to talk to Seymour. That's going to raise my strength stat. All right, so Yuna is going to switch weapon for staff. And then they're going to get 2 turns. And thankfully they attacked him. Okay, so and then Kamari is going to defend. And then Yuna is going to switch for Orin. Orin is going to defend, and then I'm going to spiral cut Seymour. And then watch as it does 5,999 damage, so he's left with 1 HP. If it crits, it actually does 9,999. But he doesn't die. Is the funny he still doesn't die. I've only ever had that happen once where it critted, because obviously critting on a single overdrive that you only do once a run is a little, not unlucky, but it doesn't matter, so it's not bound to happen, I guess. So yeah, so now we have Anima. Anima's a really simple fight. So we're gonna switch Titus for Waka. Waka's gonna switch weapon. Doesn't matter what to. Kamari's gonna steal. Hopefully we get silence grenades. Perfect. And then we're going to Pain. So that's really what we've been trying to avoid is the Pain attack. Because Pain is an insta-kill. Bye-bye Waka. So we switch for Chadley. And then we attack multiple times. So we're going to attack 4 times. And he's going to boost. So by boosting, we get to do more damage to him. Now we're going to switch Kimari out for Riku. Riku's going to steal again, because we want to steal as much as we can. And the reason we switch for Riku specifically is we want to make sure that when Seymour does the multi-Thundara attack, it's actually going to one-shot Riku and fully charge her Overdrive, which preps us for the every fight on... so I'm going to defend here twice. Defend there twice, because Titus will get 2 attacks. And then by having the yellow armlet, he doesn't die. And then we attack twice and we win anyway. But like I said, so now Riku's Overdrive is fully filled. We don't have to worry about it later. I'm going to do some sphere grading and menuing here now that he's dead. We get Shiva. Use these 2 power spheres. Have just enough to move here. Get a speed sphere. We're going to equip the Sonic Steel again. And then we're going to make our formation with Yuna and Riku. Heal, and we're good to go. And so now we get to do one more Cloister before we get to the Wendigo fight. So now we skip all that cutscene stuff too there too. So yeah, grab this Glyph Sphere. By grabbing the Glyph Sphere, we can just easily push this bad boy and run down and kind of just like fill in the rest of the blanks more or less with the rest of this. But yeah, definitely go watch all the GDQ FF runs. Like they're definitely great and good showcases and a lot of just like fun. And so I'm going to wait to push that one specifically. I'm going to run and grab this here. That's the longest walk. I'm going to push this in, put it in, and then push it. I love the music in this game, though, by the way. I sometimes do it on my channel where like I let people pick the like which type of audio they would like, and then when people try to meme me and try to tell me to pick the arranged, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Nothing against like that much against the arranged, but I don't know. I feel like personally with some of it they focus on the wrong parts of the music. And I don't know. It's really important to me at the end of the day. Like I've actually seen people that have like played this before no Suteki Dane, and I've actually seen I've been to the distant worlds where the original singer for Suteki Dane was present and like did the song in like a kimono and everything, and like I weeped out so hard, but man, it was like one of the best days of my life. Yes, actually that's actually one thing that is true about this game, Straw, is they did pick names based off of like more than just like just like I guess random bits. Like Guasalam is supposed to be like Arabic, and then Zanarkand is supposed to be kind of like Samarkand, which Z and S, but Samarkand is like a lost civilization that's like known about and all that sort of stuff. So we won Blitz. So one big thing is if you win Blitz, you actually don't have to. If you lost Blitz, you would take a fight with one of these Guados, specifically to win basically, and to be able to get the right amount of stuff. I've actually made it once without getting a Guado encounter here. It was very weird. But yeah, there's a lot of references in this game that are just like specifically like for
I'll be right back.
Like references to actual real life places, But it is ironic that it is Valley of Peace, when like
I'll be right back.
It's Valley of Peace when the Guados do what Guados do. Okay, so I've gotten this fight wrong quite a bit, and it's kind of awkward because in the Seymour fight you switch weapon then haste. In the Wendigo fight you haste then switch weapon, so it's a little bit awkward. And you could also mess up the fight quite a bit by doing some funny things. So It's very interesting sometimes, like how you can just one little error in a battle completely throws off everything and can lose you lots of time. So yep. So now we're going to the Wendigo fight. I'm going to haste first, then switch to the Brotherhood, and then specifically attack Guado B. Guado B, each of the Guados, when you kill them, cast a spell. And Guado B only casts Shell, whereas Guado A casts Protect. And so obviously Protect makes you do half damage. And so we're going to use that Light Curtain here to make sure that Titus doesn't die. Because we're going to get the Berserk cast off, which is kind of rough. And so basically what we do here is now we just full send attack with, what do you call it, with Titus. Hope for some crits. Hopefully people don't die. This is actually the most Yuna has died. Yuna does need AP here, so she has to live. Alright, so now we're going to switch for Lulu. And Lulu's going to defend. You got to be careful here. Item, and we're going to Elixir Titus here. Because having 1200 HP is just enough that he could technically die from a hit from the... Alright, and so what we're going to do is switch to Riku now that Yuna got a turn. We're going to steal from this Guado because it technically can high potion the Wendigo. Oh, look at that. That's a waste. But there you go. Yep, that is true. It actually went to a Southeast Asian theme, which I think I enjoyed a little bit more. So we just talked to Riku here, nothing crazy. We hit this save sphere because it's quick, and then we have to make sure and run around and get this level 2 key sphere. This level 2 key sphere is key to beating the game with the prepared route. So we keep the Brotherhood on, and we have an encountered zoo fight. One thing that's really funny here is actually you're gonna see something pretty good. So we're gonna get hit once. Aron's gonna come in. Need some help. Yep, alright. We defend, and then Thundara after this attack, I guess. Which, wow. Which, fun fact, Lulu doesn't have the Thundara ability. Fun fact. So she just uses it out of... The game just assumes that you'll have Thundara at that point, which is really funny to me. Alright, so we get a Power Sphere. We have to unlock that. We're going to equip Sonic Steel so we don't get stuff. Yep, that is exactly it. It's like one of the... Yeah. It's basically just a really old city that got destroyed, for in wars and stuff like that. So it's a good representation of Zanarkand, I feel like. But yeah, I did enjoy the fact that they moved from a more Western setting to the Southeast Asia one in this. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so
Live and let live.
So we only got 3 silence grenades from Anima. 6 would be preferable because then we don't have to worry about steals here. But it's not a huge deal. What we're basically looking for is to get a preemptive or something like this where it's a zoo, which, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to steal from this zoo, which is actually kind of a weird place to encounter one of these. So we need 7 total grenades for a later fight.
How can a bird grow so big? Live and let live.
Yeah, we need 7 total grenades, basically, for a later fight. Actually, it doesn't really matter, but having the initiative, I guess, would be fine. Preempts here are good because that gives us extra turns to steal. But like I was saying, what do you call it? What's the best way to say this? We need 7 total grenades. 2 of them have to be sleep powders. They don't have to be, but it really helps if they're sleep powders because there's in Bevelle after Evray, there are 4 fights that you go through. Actually 5, excuse me. 2 of them have enemies that do, I guess, technically AoE damage, where they hit everybody in the party. And it's really bad if that happens.
I'll be right back.
Just because, I don't know. What's the best way to say this? It's really bad if that happens simply because like you don't have enough HP to live with everybody that you need. So, and you don't have the items to basically make up for it, right? So the sleep powders allow you to actually put them to sleep as you would guess. And then, okay, formation. There we go. The sleep powders will let you put them to sleep and then basically win the fight without any like hiccups is the best way to say it. All right, so we're gonna switch for Kimahri, and we're just gonna take a chance on me right here. Hopefully no deaths. Kimahri dying is fine. That's fine. Chadley fine. This is all looking good.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
Okay. Gucci gang. All right. We're looking good. So now we've got 8 grenades total. We don't have to take any more encounters. We will be doing a set of fights in a very specific manner. There's actually a skip that I kind of want to try that I haven't tried yet. Oh, look at that. There's a preempt that didn't matter. There's a skip I would like to try that was a brand new skip that was put in the Final Fantasy X Discord that I haven't had a chance to like attempt myself yet. So this is going to be a fun time to attempt that. Also, Dune reference.
I'll be right back.
Also, we're coming up very close on the Bevelle cutscene. I assume we're probably missing out on that one at this point, which is fine. It's late night. Not a lot of people are awake to watch it. You can watch other runs for that, you know. That's what the internet is for. But if anything, people should, you know, people should donate to the marathon, please, because, you know, $1 for a tree. That's a whole freaking tree.
Absolutely.
It's a whole freaking tree.
And that's a whole lot for our planet.
Yes.
Do we have stats on what trees do?
Stats on what trees do?
Yeah, I have that in my blurs. Yeah, in 1 year, a mature tree will absorb more than 48 pounds of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and release oxygen in exchange.
Oh.
That's a lot for $1, and like, that's every year, and trees live for a very long time.
Yes. Yes, they do.
So that's really good. We're really happy to be here this weekend with 1 tree planted to plant those trees and do something for the climate. Like that's not something people associate a lot with like gamers, but like
Yeah.
we're gamers who care, and I think it's a
grass.
really yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. So thank you everyone for being with us tonight, and don't forget to give towards those incentives for the cutscenes. We still have probably a little time to donate towards the Bevelle grind cutscene.
Just,
Do we?
Yeah. Not a ton, but
Not a ton. All
Yeah,
right,
like-
and there's the Aaron speech cutscene that's coming in too.
our in speech one is gonna be spicy. Trust me.
All right, we want to get spicy.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna switch out Kimahri for Riku, and then we're basically in it to win it. So Titus is gonna haste himself for these like this one specific encounter.
Where are you? This should be quick.
And the rest of this is going to be pretty just simple for the most part. So, attack to win. And then, basically for the rest of time, we're going to be using... I said the rest of the time. The rest of this spot, we're going to be using Kimahri's Overdrive, basically, to insta-kill all of the enemies. Because one thing that you may have noticed is that, like, there are a lot of enemies that I could have charged his Overdrive on, but I specifically didn't do it on any of them.
Do this.
And so, this is the perfect time to use it, right? So we lance at this, we get Fire Breath, Riku gets a turn, and because it's a preempt, everybody gets a turn. But, don't switch, Monster Rage, we're going to Stone Breath, and everything immediately dies to Stone. So, easy way to cheese the game. So we almost got that skip though. So what it's basically supposed to happen there is, like, Riku by running sort of pushes you through the trigger for the fight, which is super nice. All right. There we go. We get a small little cutscene bit. Have to wait this out. Immediate cutscene. And then we do the same thing of switching to Kamari. No audio, though, which is kind of sad. But it's kind of fine, though, at the same time. Alright, so Riku to... Lance... oh my god. Brain, please. It's too late at night for this. Alright, there we go. Stone Breath, and we win. Alright. So we run through. I have to go back and get this chest for a level 2 key sphere. And this would typically be like one of the bigger breaks in the run. It's like a 6-minute long cutscene of like, you know, go through stuff. Music goes away because it would usually like fade into like, you know, stuff. We go up into the airship, miss some really cool cutscenes, have some really weird vibrations. Let's see, and then we switch Auron for Chadley. And thankfully, because of the winning Blitzball, we don't have to like do any like basically extra funny bits about like trying to like compensate for the fact that we're missing that force strength. All right. So we're basically good on all of our, what do you call it? We're good on all of our stuff, so we don't need to have extra like ways or reasons to get spheres. If you're missing spheres, you can talk to Rin here, and Rin will make it so that you like get like they're called what are they called? Distillers. There you go, and that forces an enemy to drop power spheres or speed spheres. All right, we're good to go. We got Riku's overdrive. Everything's kind of looking pretty nice and cheery, and we're gonna immediately go up into the Every fight, and it's gonna be pretty, you know, just nice, easy, right? The one sad thing about this fight, though, is it is very precise, and you have to do the exact turn order with Titus. Otherwise, you will mess up the fight and you will die, which is a little sad, but it's pretty simple. So we're gonna haste ourselves. We don't care about maneuvering. That's just, you know, baby stuff. We're going to haste ourselves, and we're going to cheer immediately. And if we go again, then we're going to have to just do something as Titus to make stuff. And then we're going to, hopefully Riku goes next, good. And we're going to mix the Lux Sphere and the map. And that's going to force us to have, it's called the Miracle Drink. It's going to force us to crit constantly, which is super nice. And so now Titus is going to attack twice, and only twice. Okay, nice, that's good. And then we're going to try and steal as much as we can. So we got 1 water gem. We really want 2. We're going to cheer again. And that's going to make it so that we get, because of like turn priority and how moves have certain turn priority, cheer is one that has a slightly higher turn priority than just regularly attacking. So we basically win right now. So Titus is just fast enough that it's going to haste, and we're going to attack one more time, and bam, Every is dead. So we couldn't steal anything. It's going to roar. I forgot that one part. It's going to roar. Going to force it to waste turns, basically. Dang. Okay. So that just means we'll have to get a an extra gem later, basically. No big deal, though. All right. This would be the time for the Bevel skip, but it's not happening, so it's all right. Glad you're all sitting through this with us. It's very late at night. So now we're here. We're gonna use that mega potion that we had left over earlier, and then now we're gonna go straight to these fights. So these first fights are really simple. Just make sure to attack this guy, and then if I had distillers, I would use them at this point. But Titus is just gonna one-shot these bros, and it's gonna be really easy. All right. So now upcoming, here's the fight that I was talking about, where it's kind of a little monka with these flamethrower guys. So we're gonna kill this. We're gonna use the sleep powders that we had. They're gonna fall asleep, and then Kamari immediately is going to, on his next turn. Oops, bomb core was the wrong thing. Should use a silence grenade. All right. That's fine. That's true. Early morning Europeans. Come join us in our late night revels. Alright, I'm sort of thinking on the fly about strats and things that I should incorporate into my runs going forward. But now is not the time for that. So we kind of do want silence grenades for later portions of the run, because you can use them in lieu of Riku having an overdrive, which is kind of nice. But it's only really if you're like gunning for like a good time, more or less, is the best way to say it. So here we're gonna haste Riku, and she's going to let's see, use smoke bombs, make life easy. And then as with those guys are dead, we don't get like that. If you're far away from this like artillery style enemy, and on like the third, I guess if you think of it as 3 rows, the artillery, the front enemies, and us in the back, it does kind of like an artillery cannon style thing. And will wipe the party. So that's just making sure that we don't. Also, I only learned that this existed as part of the speedrun, or like just in general, about like 2 months ago, that you can press X there and just like it's like an elevator, I guess, in some ways. It's kind of crazy. Absolutely blew my mind, because it was like they talk about Machina in the cutscenes, like there's Machina in the temple, that's crazy, you know, blah blah blah, and then like they never tell you that it's like you could do that, because it's just like that one itty bitty little section, and like they never tell you. There's no prompt or anything, and it's just like it's crazy. Okay, but now here comes the worst cloister of trials, the Bavel trials, which is just absolutely nutty. They're quite the meme. Very hard to optimize in a lot of ways, but you know, we do our best. So yeah. Bavel Trials, it's kind of just simple. Basically, all we have to do is kind of like let the escalator take us around, is the best way to say it. So we'll just kind of be auto-scrolling through this mostly, is the best way to say it. Yeah, it's kind of a weird auto-scroller. This entire game is a bit of a weird auto-scroller, if you think about it. But you know, it's one of the best Final Fantasies of all time, so fight me. Yeah. Starting to lose my voice a little bit after 3 hours of constant talking, so might take a minute chat to relax my dulcet tones and relax for a moment. So enjoy this. The one thing I would say for this, if you're playing this casually, it makes it easier to know that actually if you just hold down the X button or the confirm button while you're going across like some of these like selections, basically as it's switching between them, it will like take the selection as it goes over it automatically, so you can just hold it down instead of having to press it immediately, which is good to know. For things like this though, where it's like it's 2 directions that go differently than what you are used to, or like that would send you possibly in the wrong direction, it's better just to like press it, I think. But you know, yeah. Okay.
You can protect your voice for a second and I can speak it.
That sounds great. Thank you.
No problem. Let's talk about our prizes. So we have very cool prizes for this weekend to everyone who donates. We have a Devolver game bundle. So you know Devolver Digital? We have had quite a few. I think it was last night that we had our Devolver block where we had Ape Out and The Messenger. So if you donate $40, you'll actually get a raffle ticket for a chance to win Disc Room, Ape Out, Shadow Warrior 3, Pikuniku, Hotline Miami Collection, Death's Door. Oh, we had Death's Door as well last night, run by Foxy right here in our Devolver block. And My Friend Pedro, Katana Zero, The Messenger, and Grace. All of that for $40, and there are 20 of those game bundles, and not a lot of people have donated $40 as of now. So if you do donate, your chances of getting that bundle of games is very, like, currently they're 100%. So I mean, that's pretty good. We also have Galactic Wars EX that you can win. So this run will be after this current run of Final Fantasy X. We're having the dev show us a showcase of Galactic Wars EX, so that's really exciting. We could you could win that for a $8 donation. We have a Game Boy Color with Pokemon Yellow and a skin, and I think we have added another Game Boy Color with Pokemon Blue with another skin. So for a donation of $20, you could get those, and they look very good. We've shared them on Twitter. I suggest you go see them. Those Game Boys look, with their skins, they look amazing. So stay tuned with us for all the weekend, guys, and donate. Don't forget to select when you donate on Tiltify. Don't forget to select the prize you'd like to win. And this is not a big event, but we got big prizes, so the chances that you get a prize are pretty high. So let's keep them coming.
Yeah, I'm gunning for one of those Game Boys, so like, donate, but don't donate.
Yeah.
Like, I want one.
Yeah, oh, they are so pretty.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, one cool thing you might have not seen or just like noticed was that as a casual player, I thought that you had to have a Babel sphere in the pedestal to make it work correctly, which is actually not true. You can use any sphere and it works. And like when I was watching other runners and like learning this, it like blew my mind. We're gonna have to run through this one more time. It like literally blew my mind about that that worked, and I was like, oh my god, like, why did nobody tell me? I don't think that many people know themselves, so it's funny to know. Okay. Yeah, so we're about to be at the end of this auto scroller, and we're gonna unlock Bahamut, who is like, you know, the big slamma jamma in this run, and the entire like thing that the route is based around for endgame. So kind of cool to see like how we make the front end portion of the run work versus the back end, you know. And so yeah, it's we're finally getting to like the big memes portion. So really hope everybody enjoyed like that, you know, the front end. As I mentioned before we start getting into like, it's not simple at the end of the day because there is a lot of stuff that we have to do to mitigate, you know, our damage and those sorts of things. But like really, it's like, you know, it's pretty cool. The only sad thing is that we do get the Via Purifico music. It's very brief though. The one nice thing about this too is that in the full game run, you have to like wait a second for this like tile thing to go around. But here it's no big deal. You just like run up and then you're done. So, yep.
There must be an...
So there's an exit, but now here we go into the fun. All right, so we're gonna use Oren's sphere grid and why we need these level 2 key spheres. And excuse me while I focus. So all we need Oren for literally is to get to this node, to activate the magic node, and then Yuna is gonna go absolutely ham on his on all of this. So gonna activate this magic sphere as well as this power sphere, because we need to be able to tank hits, and so the more spheres we activate, the more health Bahamut gets as well, I'm pretty sure. And so by activating all of this, we're basically going to just really round out our damage, our defense as well, to make sure that we don't take as much damage, because there are some boss fights coming up where like it gets a little close with like how much that we need to be doing. You also have to be, it's also good to be very careful. Oops, power sphere, excuse me. And then we only move down one. Be very careful here about how much you actually move Yuna, simply because like at this point you are very limited on the amount of like sphere levels that you're gonna get. So by just incorrectly moving one space, the amount of sphere levels that the amount of like extra battles that you have to do to make up for that one sphere level like gets exponentially high. You have to do like at least 3 or 4 battles just to make up for it in late game, which is just absolutely annoying and not something that you actually want to be doing in like, when you're trying to PB or like, go through all of that stuff. So as I mentioned earlier, we need to use Ixion for this upcoming boss battle with Isaru, which is like just a battle, a contest of Aeons is the best way to say it, because we just use Aeons to fight each other. So summoning Ixion, it's the fastest one. It's the fastest summon animation with the fastest attack, so that's why we summon it. And then we also actually have to kill a certain amount of enemies to make sure that we have enough AP going into the next set of areas. So we need to kill 4 enemies. Every overkill that we get adds 1 count to that number. So typically it's about 3 maze larvas that you get, sometimes 2, so just 2 there, no big deal. So we'll have to kill 2 YKT-93s, which I believe are they're like the long-legged enemies that we saw in after the Evray fight that Titus was killing. So he's going to summon his own Ifrit. And we're going to summon Bahamut, because Bahamut is going to be able to one-shot him. Which is very nice. And we actually get the Via Perthigo music for the rest of this too, so we get very nice calming jams while we're doing a battle of Aeons instead of, I forget what the original track is for this. I think it's just the boss music, the generic boss music. So yeah. Alright. So one shot here. Now up against his Veilfor, which is called Terra, or Patera, like pterodactyl. It actually has quite a bit of health, which is kind of funny, because we have just enough strength to like almost one-shot it, but if we get a crit, then we're good. So that's all we gotta hope for. It would be nice if they gave Isaru some animations to summoning, but 2001, you can't be super, I guess, add to the budget for that. So we summon Bahamut once more. We hopefully get a crit just to save time, but it's no big deal otherwise. And then for the last fight, he's going to summon his own Bahamut, which is called Spathi, which I'm actually curious. I've never looked up what Spathi, the origin of the name is or anything like that. I'd be very curious if someone was able to look that up, what it means in another language possibly. Because his Ifrit is called Grothia, which I assume is some sort of I feel like I want to say gremlin, but that doesn't seem right. Gremlin or some sort of ogre-ish name, it seems to me, but yeah.
I cannot.
So yeah, he summons his own Bahamut, so this is where our Ixion comes to pass. Ixion is fast enough as well that we're going to get in enough hits before, to kill, specifically before, he gets to use his overdrive. So any crit here, it's 5 hits. Hopefully, we get a crit to just reduce the amount of hits. It's relatively rare. Doesn't take that long, obviously, but it's just convenient. So I thought with that extra animation it was going to be it. And dead. And so that's the fight. Yep. And so now we get to go into the underwater section of the Via Purifico with Chadley, Waka, and Riku. It's pretty simple. We don't need to do anything special here because we don't have any distillers to throw. Every Altana fight is really simple because it's undead and you can actually use Phoenix Downs against it. So that's really all we're going to be doing. Nothing too crazy here. And then, yeah. The only sad part is, like, generally after the Evray fight, it plays some, like, really nice music as you kind of just wade through the water. Oh, actually, excuse me. There is no music in the original game, whereas with the mod, because of how, like, it skips cutscenes, it's this battle music the entire time, and it's just way more tense than it needs to be, in my opinion. So, yeah. So anytime you hit every Altana, it counters with a counter attack. But good miss, that way I don't have to heal. We just Phoenix down one more time, and we win. Easy peasy. Easy game, easy life. That's actually my second TKO, I'm pretty sure, too. But yeah, so usually when this would be a nice, like, leisurely swim, we don't get that now. So we just take our time, swim through, and then once we get Yuna in the party, then we're going to be doing Yuna, Ornn, and Titus, I believe, and then in our party formation. And then from there, we're going to be doing, what do you call it? The last bit of, like, major sphere gridding before we get into the other portions of the game, and go from there. Yeah, whoop whoop is correct. So yeah, one, I guess, fun fact to notice, or to note, is that, like, apparently, so while swimming down, it seems like a fast animation. Swimming upwards is slower than regular swimming, so it's faster just to swim normally and not, like, have any fun with it, kind of, which is a little sad. So we're going for speed here. We got, I think, about 45 minutes left on the run, so we'll see how this turns out. Because a lot of this what's left really is just, like, encounters. There is a way to manip no encounters, like a no encounter armor, basically, from, alright. Go. There's a way to manip no encounter armor from a certain enemy in the Cavern of the Stolen Faith, but we don't need to do that. It's like, it can take more time, and it is, like, sort of an RNG thing at the end of the day. So we just, like, kind of just save ourselves the time and the effort of not getting it, unless, like, there is a way to manip it and kind of keep track of it. But really, at the end of the day, with, like, my current skill level, it's, like, not something that's really, I want to say, like, viable, really. So, all right, and so we only got 2 kills, so Yuna's kind of low on AP right now. So that's, yeah, I think we're doing all right. I'm hoping, at least. So these are the enemies that we're gonna try and kill. You're gonna see Yuna smacks really hard. So that's 3 kills. More Mega Potions, and then we'll definitely get 1 more kill before this. But one thing I have to keep track of, which I didn't do earlier, and I'll do after this next fight, is how many sphere levels Lulu has. Lulu needs exactly 35 sphere levels. All right, and Yuna's gonna defend.
Live and let live.
I guess nice crit. Double check sphere levels. Lulu has 34. All right, so Lulu has 34 levels. It's very typical for me, actually. Like, somehow, some way, she never has enough. But it's no big deal. There's an easy way to get the 35. It just takes, like, an extra half second. So we're going to switch in Lulu. She's going to switch weapon because that is a priority move. And then we're going to just end it up pretty quickly. So nice and easy peasy. So Lulu, switch weapon to her removal. Funny, I haven't gotten a weapon for her yet. And then she's going to switch immediately back to Titus or Chadley. Chadley's going to do 1 hit on Seymour because right now Bahamut does just enough damage that, like, we can under damage basically, we can't technically under damage Seymour, so we gotta be safe and make sure that we don't do that, basically. So, okay, so we summon Bahamut, and then what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. And so that would have killed, but it's better to be safe than sorry because Titus is always going to go first. So, all right, so that's it. That's Seymour done. We now have Bahamut with us. We are missing the late cutscene, which is obviously one of the best cutscenes in video games, again, because this game kills it all the time with cutscenes. All right, we're going to sphere grid real quick. And she does not have enough levels. Oh, yes, she does. That's weird. It wasn't showing up. All right. And now Yuna's ready to go. Let's see. Formation. We want to switch. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who we switch Lulu for. And also want to do... There we go. Okay. So like I mentioned before, actually we need Riku in the party because she's going to have the most speed. There we go. So what we need one more of is just a gem item because basically we haven't done anything with Kimahri, right? But really Kimahri is like his fight against Viron and Yenke is really easy. The best way to say it. If you plan correctly, and you only need two of a gem, like a water gem or a fire gem. And so that's all I'm going to be doing here is switching out for Kimahri, stealing. We get another fire gem. That's why you hope for 2 gems on, what do you call it? That's why you hope for 2 gems on Evray, if you can get it. So I had a lot of chances and opportunities to steal on that fight, which typically isn't the case, but, you know, it worked out. So we didn't die. That's the big thing. So now we just don't even worry about it. We just run through the Calm Lands, enjoy the music while we can. Yeah. So, sadly, it gets interrupted quite a bit because I think technically encounters are related to how leveled you are. So it'll give you more encounters the less leveled you are. That's a Foxy theory though. I have no basis for that. So you're just gonna have to bear with me while I tell you things that may or may not be incorrect about this game because I have nobody here to correct me. So as you all know, I am the finest source of information on Final Fantasy X, and there is no better source, so deal with it. But yeah, if you have, I guess, I don't know if there's anything that you would like to to plug, feel free. Otherwise, I don't mind shutting up for a hot second. We enjoy the music, watch the chocobos, and go.
Yeah, the music of the field. So right now, let's talk about the incentives that we have coming in for tomorrow, Saturday. So we will be having we have an incentive that's called Metroid Spooky Mission 2 Secret Jiffy Room. I don't actually know what that is. Go to a secret room not normally stayed in the room. That sounds pretty cool. For Metroid Fusion, we have 2 options that you can donate towards. We have Mystery Mode and we have Fight Ridley X, which can be required by the seed, but if you guys vote for it, we will make it a requirement for the for the Metroid Fusion run. We also have meme songs in Beatmania. We're gonna have a Beatmania showcase tomorrow. That's gonna be pretty nice. And we could add, so you could donate towards adding 15 minutes to that showcase for some memes. Let's get them memes. The Minecraft run with no jumping. That sounds interesting. I've seen Minecraft runs before, and I feel like jumping's pretty important. So, yep. No jumping in Minecraft? Alright. For Infernax, we have Nope % and Sleep %. I have no idea what that is. Nope %, turn around and don't find the demons. Okay. Sleep %, this is all a bad dream. Sleep until it's over. Okay. And we have a bid war going on for Infernax as well. You can choose between good or evil endings. Currently, evil ending is winning with $31 against good ending with only $10. So if you want that good ending, you gotta get those donations in, or else the evil will prevail.
Alright, so this is one of those fights where you just don't, like, there's no music, but all we do is just summon Bahamut, we slap it twice and we win. It's kind of funny because it's like, because of like the cutscene skip, it's like on its ankles, which is really funny. Like, it's like scared that we're gonna slap it too hard or something. I don't know. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, we slap it twice to win, and then that's it. It's pretty simple. And that's basically gonna be the rest of the game. Which is, at least to me, it's entertaining. It seems like kind of just like, you know, whatever. You can. So one thing I was mentioning about the no encounter armor, if you run down this this way, that's where you find the no encounter armor if you are manipulating or trying to manipulate drops, basically. So yeah, it's something that top runners do, but again, I'm still working on grinding down my run times either way. But yeah. A lot of canon to go through here. So yeah, so now we just run up to the next fight with Biran and Yenke. We're forced into it, and it's very simple. Biran's gonna run us asunder. So it's a very like simple fight. We're gonna start by stealing from Biran. Then Biran is going to bulldoze us and go to the other side because we need one level 3 key sphere. And then after that, we're going to specifically use a water gem or a fire gem on Yenke first. Because if you use it on Biran first, Yenke casts, what do you call it? Yenke casts Mighty Guard on himself, I believe. And then you basically can't win the fight without some extreme annoyances, because he has like a bunch of other things like White Wind and stuff that makes you just really hard to win. So yeah, so we win. So now I have to pay attention to my drops. This is where like the game diverges a lot. Oh god, I got 2 and 2. I'm not prepared for this. Okay, this is the first time this has happened. Alright, in a very long time. I'm not kidding. Alright, level 2 key sphere. So Lulu specifically is going to go way down in another sphere grid. I believe this is Riku's. Maybe hers. We're going to unlock with that level 3 key sphere. And we're going to use that to unlock this. And then we're going to move specifically to this one so that Yuna doesn't have to move. And so we got 2 return spheres. So Yuna is going to friend sphere to Lulu, which oh man, this is crazy. This is the first time I've ever got 2 and 2. You got 2 return spheres. Friend sphere to Lulu. Strength +4, strength +4. Use. Oh my god. So yeah, I literally have to go off notes for this. Lulu is going to move here, yep, and then we activate strength +3, and so Yuna's going to use another friend sphere to move directly to Lulu, and then we're going to use a speed sphere, and a strength sphere. And then otherwise, let's see. So Titus is going to have to move all the way back to here to get armor break. And then we're going to customize the staff. We're going to put First Strike on that. And then we're going to also go down to Orange Shimmering Blade. And we're going to put First Strike on that. And then we're going to equip the Shimmering Blade to Orange. So basically, they now both also have First Strike weapons. I forget. I think it's these 3. And I think I need to build up Riku's Overdrive because she did not get hit on Evray. So let me just check that real fast. Yes, alright. So that we can easily do that, no big deal. There we go. Sorry guys, it's been a hot minute. So yeah, so we need to put on, so basically what will happen is that if we need to build up Riku's Overdrive, I'm just basically going to steal from, what do you call it? Use Machina to charge it for us, which is going to be a little bit later in the mountains. All right. I've been studying these notes for such a long time, and this is the first time I've gotten to friend to return, and like, I don't know. I never do runs this late though. I feel like a lot of it's based off of like, a lot of this game is based off of seed. So like, when you do load into the game, and I feel like a lot of runs I have are very similar because I run at very similar times of the day. So there we go. So basically, we're gonna have Titus escape, we're gonna have Auron escape, and then Riku's gonna directly steal from this middle boy. And then one of these guys is gonna chop Riku into nothing, and she has full overdrive. So that 2,000 HP hit would actually... oh, and let's get Waka in here too. There we go. And now we're good to go. Easy peasy. Alright, so we have an extra HP sphere laying around. Which you don't really need, but you know, we're okay without it. We'll be using to like basically do like extra damage for these next Seymour fights and some other fights later in the game, because we kind of need to like basically make up for little bits of damage that we're going to be doing later, because we can't always one-shot everything, but we kind of have to make so that we can live past like an extra set of damage more or less. So yeah. Pretty simple nonetheless, and there's all these ambushes here. We don't really need to worry about it because thankfully Titus has a Sonic Blade, and that's great. And we're basically done using Titus here, outside of just like, you know, the little things of what do you call it? We're basically done using him here outside of like these like little damage mitigations to and fro is the best way to say it. So yeah, there's a lot of what the end game is. It's just a lot of like running from battles. It's kind of typical, I feel like, of end game Final Fantasies. Is like you're really just trying to get out of there. You know what I mean? And get to the last set of bosses. So yeah, we're right on the last corner before we go into Seymour Flux, which is for a lot of people like where Final Fantasy X probably gets like the hardest for them. Like that's like the steepest difficulty curve, because this boss is just like really made to like end your fun is the best way to say it. All right. And so now we can actually go into the fight. And we're going to see Yuna actually attack quite a bit here, which is pretty cool. And this is, like I said, the first time that I've seen this without, like, you know, the specifics. So yeah, so we're going to haste Yuna. And we're going to switch Auron for Riku. And Riku's going to do a fun little thing. We're going to do a HP sphere plus a grenade, where I can find a grenade. There's a Chaos Grenade, which basically causes all damage. It's like basically all negative stats. I think that was a crit! I've never had that happen before. I think that was a crit. Oh my god, alright. Okay. I don't know what's supposed to happen because I've never gotten the, like, to return to sphere to friend before. So we missed a little, like, awkward bit where Titus, like, kind of, like, falls over and has a conniption. No! That's such sad news. I'm sorry. Alright. So we go to our houseboat because we're really cool and stuff and we live on the Jersey Shore. And we kind of just proceed. And so what we're trying to do now, again, is get another Riku overdrive. A slice of life. Nice. Everybody's slice of life is welcome at 1 in the morning. But yeah, we've got about
changed in 10 years.
We've got about 30 minutes left on the run, so hopefully this is looking good. Actually, this is actually looking pretty good. Besides, like the added cutscenes, adding like a few minutes onto this. So we need to build Riku's overdrive. So we're gonna do the same thing as before. We got Auron and Riku. Hopefully Riku gets smacked around by a behemoth here soon. But we don't need Riku's overdrive for like quite a while. So like if we don't get it here, it's not a huge deal. I'm not gonna force anything out of it. I'm more likely to get what do you call it, encounters like relatively like soon, if that makes like in later portions of the game. So, but now we're set up for the next couple portions. So basically for like the next fight, we need to use armor break for that to make sure we get the kill on the what do you call it, the Sanctuary Keeper. And then it'll be kind of from the rest of that mostly smack to win. There'll be here and there using armor breaks or other different abilities, but typically it's either going to be Titus armor breaks or Riku Chaos Grenades is going to be the simple. So this minigame is probably my least favorite out of all of them. I'm getting much better at it, but it's still quite a nightmare, to say the least. It's one of those weird things that you only do it once in, you know, several hours, so like making mental notes of it doesn't quite always help. Insta bullseye. Yeah, once you get kind of stuck in a loop of doing that minigame, it kind of just it kind of devolves, and you're just kind of like going mad of the like what's the wrong timing that I apparently have or something like that. So. Okay. We actually haven't gotten a behemoth encounter yet, which is kind of throwing me for a loop, but, you know, that's okay. We've been getting some weird encounters in general, I feel like, and so... Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil.
How many stakes you think we can get out of these?
Just gonna steal. And it should attack Riku, who is the, like... Yeah. I believe the behemoth enemies and others always count on marathon luck, yeah. Really. What do you call it? Okay, we don't need to worry about them at all. So, I believe the behemoths have like a special thing in their AI that tells them to go for the character with the lowest HP, which is also something true of the Iron Giants that we had attack Riku in the Thunder Plains. So just something to kind of point out there. So it's like it's kind of safe as long as you get one character out. You have multiple opportunities to to flee. But I like to escape just in case, because again, one of those things of it's so late in the game that I never really tested. I'm kind of always at this point just kind of like going. Also, this is kind of one of the funnier puzzles. I've talked with people about this before, and it's really easy because it's based off of both size and color. So Riku's sphere grid is green, Titus's is blue, and Wakka's is orange. So all you have to do is press right once, and you get it correct. And it's like really simple for me to notice, but like I don't know. I've talked to people about it, and apparently they thought about it way too much. and getting it wrong obviously is like, you know, really detrimental. So I don't know, it's funny for me to think about at the end of the day of just like, you know, oh, like could have done this sort of deal. All right. But yeah, it's ridiculously simple. Sorry to those out there who did not get it the first time. Yes, our first ambush in a while, actually. Yeah, we are coming up very close on the end. It'll probably be, I think this run will be around a 340. If my time gauging is correct. I should look at my splits and kind of try to remember how like often things like the actual time lengths of all my splits, because I just kind of run.
That would mean that people only have 30 minutes left to donate on during this. Oh, I see. We got a donation. Sorry. I was looking somewhere else.
Dodo.
Oh yeah. Structural Mike donates $20 and no comment. Well, thank you so much, Structural Mike. He chose Pick the Sprites for A Link to the Past randomizer. So we have an upcoming... That's one of the... I named a lot of incentives earlier, but we have a lot and I didn't want to interrupt Foxy for too long. But that is one of the polls that we have, is that you can pick the sprites for the Link to the Past randomizer. So Structural Mike chose Banana, Eggplant, Nature Link, and Power Up Shroom. And we have many more options. We have Pokemon in there. We have a bunch of stuff. So keep the donations coming. Thank you, Structural Mike, and thank you everyone who donated so far. We're almost at 850 trees planted.
Nice.
Exciting.
It's a lot of trees.
It's a bunch of trees.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your donation. Yeah, as I was saying, the armor break here just makes it so that Bahamut can actually, you know, max out damage. So, and thankfully we critted, so Bahamut usually would be insta-killed in the Seymour Flux fight. So, really that's all we need to worry about now. And making sure that I get my gritting right. And we got an overkill. So if you don't get an overkill on Seymour Flux, one thing that has to happen is you have to basically kill a couple sets of enemies in Xanarkand, or one singular, what is it, Defender Z or something like that. But since we got the overkill, we don't got to worry about it. It's not something that happens a lot. It's kind of just like a sort of not a random chance, but just like just in case, you know. It's just things to be aware of when speedrunning the game. Like a lot of Final Fantasies and other games, a lot of it is just like knowing how to mitigate things that if things do go wrong, or like how you don't expect, is the best way to like, how do I, you know, recover from this for the most part, so the run isn't totally dead, is the best way to say it. So we're coming into Xanarkand. We're walking up to what would be the intro cutscene for the video game. We don't get to see any of it, sadly, because, you know, it's really good, but, you know, it's all right. So we're going to touch this save sphere here. We've already got Riku's Overdrive. We just kind of, you know, listen and enjoy the music. We have to pick up one chest of a Fortune Sphere here. I technically don't think I need to pick up the Friend Sphere. Don't need that. Skip it if you had 0 retreat. Alright, so I actually don't have to pick up what do you call it? I don't have to pick up one chest that I usually would pick up, which is great. And as I was mentioning here, Xanarkand, there's a ton of behemoths, so we would have been fine waiting for Riku's Overdrive, but you know, hey, can't always be perfect, I guess. So yeah, that's like 3 in a row right there, so. Yeah, we picked up that Fortune Sphere. Having the luck is kind of a big deal. It's not a huge deal, let's just say this. I think it determines, like, luck in this game determines, like, critical hit rate as well as chance to hit. And so there is a slight chance that if you don't get this certain luck sphere that I believe Bahamut could miss on the final boss fight, which is very not bueno at the end of the day. But we got it. That's no big deal. So we basically got the things that we needed to get is the big deal. Missing the luck sphere at the beginning of the game is a run-ending mistake, because you need it for Ebre, and there aren't any more like that you can get in the meantime. So kind of a big deal. So it's all worked out pretty well so far. But yeah. So we're coming up on the last little bit. So now we're getting into the stadium, which is actually the stadium that we saw at the beginning of the game. If you remember that, I hope you all do. Because only like, what, 3 hours ago? Easy peasy, right? But yeah, running the stadium. We would talk to some random green dude, but you know, whatever. We would have like some early 2000s like camera work going on, like showing Lulu's chest and stuff, but we don't need that here because we're professional gamers. And yeah, so I can skip, there's a chest right off in the distance that you can see there that I'm not going to grab. And this would be one of the defender enemies that I would get if I didn't get the crit, but we did, so we're good. It goes full circle, which I think makes it a pretty cool, like, I don't know, a storytelling device of like how, like, you know, everything in the game kind of like, you experience everything before it actually happens and you don't know it yet, right? So it's kind of just like one of those things that's like, ooh, like, you know, if you happen to remember that, it's like a treat, right? To go through it and do it again, so. Professional, not professional. Why not both? So yeah, here we'd see Seymour and his mama having conniptions, and his mother making very poor decisions. Yes, I agree. It was the right time and the right feel for the early 2000s. I'm going to go off the rails a little bit. Not in a bad way, but in a way that might cause some blowback for me. But I will openly say I enjoyed Final Fantasy X 2.5, the novella, and I also like the concept of Final Fantasy X 3. Now, some people will lose their, like, go batshit nuts if you ever said that to anybody. All right. If you got 2 returns, okay. So we got a grid here real quick, and so we're gonna use one of the return spheres we got. We're gonna return back here. That's correct. Oh, you've never heard of them? It's probably for the best, honestly. Okay. Magic plus 3. Well, that take is canon now. Good. It should be canon. They're actually well written, but people hate them simply because we're going to use... All right. Oh, I forgot to switch my stuff. Yeah, people really dislike it because it has some really interesting takes on like what happens after Final Fantasy X-2, which people were already kind of jarred about in the first place, right? But yeah, people wanted their very happy ending, and then they did not get their very happy ending. And I'm not gonna lie, yes, some stupid stuff does happen in some of that, but at the end of the day, like, you know, overall, I like the concept. I think it forwards the whatever it is. If you like pop settings, then you'll really enjoy it. I think it's very much a girl power game in that sense, but not in like a I don't know, like a gamer way, you know what I mean? But like it's it's very it's a very different tone, to say the least. And I think people for 10-2 wanted 10-2 like the exact same thing, which yeah, sure, that's fine, but like kind of get over it, you know what I mean? Not every game has to cater to you. And while I initially was not a big fan of 10-2 in the beginning, I think I appreciate it for what it is now. Yeah, definitely like it then. This is like the worst part, because I need to I should zoom in on this every time, because that way it's easier for me to see. I'm always like squinting at my notes, because like there's no way I ever want to memorize like this section of the game, because literally all it is just running and touching like points on the ground.
I remember banging my head against this puzzle.
Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, I think I've done it once, and then I have my own personal strategy guide for this game, and it's quite, I don't know. I just remember looking up and just being like, wow, like that was ridiculous. Why did I ever deal with that at the end of the day? Mm-hmm. All right, but yeah, we only got 2 more left. This one and the other. This one has a lot of the like angled ones, the orange boys. All right. So yeah, sorry if I'm looking at notes the entire time and focusing on this, but I'd rather not have to redo the puzzle. That would be a bit of a major disappointment. Sorry, Anma, do you have anything to say if you'd like? There's really nothing going on here, so.
Yeah, well, it's really understandable that you would look at your notes for this. Like, I would not expect you not to. Yeah, I just wanted to tell everyone, well, thank you for being here tonight with us. We really appreciate it. We are raising money for One Tree Planted, which is a non-profit that plants trees. Yep, and for $1, it plants 1 tree. Which is pretty rad. So yeah, thank you for being there. And yeah, someone just told me that we will be accepting donations all through the night, actually. So the stream is staying up, and we are showing highlights of the day and the day before highlights of the marathon on stream all night. So like if you come by, if you want to donate, like it's always a good time to do it. We'll be here all night. Yeah, so we had a little shift in our schedule, so the run after this one will not happen tonight. It might probably happen at another time during the marathon, but after this run we will go into sleep percent, which is the time where you can watch our highlights of the day, and we will reconvene at 5 a.m. EST, 9 a.m. UTC for Metroid Spooky Mission 2. And we have an incentive for Metroid Spooky Mission 2 right now. Is it a poll? Is it an incentive? Oh yes, it's an incentive for the secret Jiffy Room. I don't know what the secret Jiffy Room is, but I kind of want to discover it, right? Let's get those let's get those donations coming before 5 a.m. EDT and 9 a.m. UTC. And thank you for chilling with us tonight, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely really appreciate it helping me stay sane. There was a suggestion that I gave to Sin at one point that was, hey, if there's not a run after mine, if we hit a certain donation goal, let's just make it an entire run. I'll turn off the mod and we'll just roll. But yeah, no, at this point, I'm dead. Unless somebody donates like $500, I'm not doing it. Like one donation.
I remember you saying that yesterday, and I thought, wow, that's bold to just spend the night on this.
Yeah. I believe too much in my own ability. That's all I'll say. But I mean, at this point, that's like what we got, like 15 minutes left in the run, really. But at the same time, it's also like it would be like another like hour at most. Otherwise, so at this point, it wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah. All right. So yeah, this fight's really easy. We just summon Bahamut and we win. It's pretty simple. It's going to be the next couple fights as well. So had to do a little bit of sphere gridding after this. Actually, I don't. I saved time on this, which is awesome. Actually, am I done? Wow. I'm actually done gridding. Wow, I should run this late at night more often. Bahamut equals win. Yes, that is very true. Alright, so we have a slight cutscene here of going through, like, just it showing and being like, there's no final Aeon! Ah! This would be where the now command would activate. Basically, this is probably like the last real time for that, but that's okay. All right. So yeah, I don't need to do any gridding here, which is baller. So we're just gonna spin to win. All right. And we get woman in very scantily clad clothing because it's the 90s. All right, we summon Bahamut and we smack 3 times in a row to win. Isn't it great, guys? It's a very calm, casual way to end the evening. Smack number 1. One thing I do have to pay attention to is also Unileska dropping Zombie Strike. What is dropping a Zombie Strike weapon? Specifically because that's something that we'll be using for the very last portion of the fight. Or the very last fight in the game, actually. But now with more polygons. This is true. The trend has never stopped. Also, this music is like choice. We sadly don't get the best music in the game. Well, I'm not gonna say the best music in the game. The best music, the best Seymour battle music, I guess, would be the best way to say it. There you go. And ba-bam. That's Unileska done. Okay, so we don't get that. Titus has to go get zombie attack for the last portion of the game. That's no big deal. Kind of sucks when you get weapon drops that are like armor drops and not the weapon drops that you want. Okay, so we have a last little bit of cutscenes to deal with as we're like getting ready to like fight Sin and all this other sort of stuff. But yeah, about 15 minutes left on the run, so 3 hours and 45 minutes is a pretty good time estimate considering me having to take a long look at notes, and we lost about maybe 5 to 10 minutes to just random junk. All right. Also, At the End of the Abyss, or At the Edge of the Abyss is the name of this track, and it is, I don't know, man. The late game tracks in this game are just so good. Like, oh man. There's such good, like, calming music to listen to at the end of the day. Like, perfect video game music and just ambient noise. Really. Alright. So we talked to Kimahri and Yuna. They're like, hey, let's go talk to Micah. He might know some stuff about how we can kill Sin. And they're like, okay, dude, sounds great. So we're on our merry way that way. Don't need to talk to Rin's boring ass. Alright, so we go to Babel. And there you miss it because you can actually skip the dolly. He goes, yeehaw, here we go. Because I guess Sid's a country boy. All right. And then the final showdown with Shin. The final showdown with Shin. Yeah, here we go. And so now, all I have to do is run up. We're going to take out some arms. Well, fins, technically. But arms nonetheless. He's very versatile. Him in 10-2 is a bit of a hoot. But very interesting also. A lot of the character development for a lot of like the side characters is very interesting. In 10-2. But it's fine. And what's kind of sucks too is that, so literally all we're doing here is impulsing, because that's the only long range move we have. Impulse can crit like it did on, what do you call it, on Seymour Flux, but we just barely under damage basically. It kind of sucks because I think each of these fins has 44k HP, and we do like 38 to 41,000 typically, so. But a lot of what we're doing here is really just getting last minute AP for Yuna. For the last gridding that we have to do, we specifically need 18 sphere levels. So before you go into the final battle, or the final like section basically, you need to make sure you have 18. And it's a good thing to note, because it actually, that's like one thing that isn't mentioned in the notes is like, hey, make sure that you have 18 sphere levels or else you're not going to be able to beat the game. More or less. But yeah, I do enjoy how it's, I don't know, Final Fantasy is very big on its whale culture. Like, it's very Japanese in that there's always a whale somewhere, right? Like, Final Fantasy IV has the moon whale or whatever it is, and then, like, I'm pretty sure 6 has a whale, 12 has whales. There's just whales everywhere. Alright, so we're at 13. And then we just do it one more time. And so if you're ever actually low on return spheres when you're learning the game, you can actually kill the reskinned Sin spawn that we fought earlier in the game, which will drop extra return spheres, and then also like drop extra return spheres, and then also can drop a zombie strike weapon, which is kind of nice. So yeah, pretty simple. Alright, so now we go talk to Yuna. And we talk about the whole sphere that we should have seen about 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, in like precursor to, in like pre-Xanarkand. This elevator always makes me think of that Snoop Dogg song. Snoop. So yeah, we talk to Yuna here, and then we just go immediately back up, and we do the same thing, except now we get to smack the space whale in the face. It's hard for me not to hum along with the music in this game just because it's so catchy. Just, bah! My big old face. Oh, thanks, Try Girl. Appreciate you re-hosting. Also no music here. I also always thought it was kind of a funny interaction that like Bahamut crashes down from the sky and like lands on top of like the airship and like nothing happens because of it. Also, this drawn to sin bit is very funny to me. Just like look at his cute face. We pet him right on the schnoz, tickle his nose. I always really liked this interaction too because it kind of shows you like how, like what they were thinking with the game, like how like honestly, it's not a cohesive group. Like everybody's kind of running around together, and I don't know. I always thought it was an interesting interaction of like, you know, shows how everybody is kind of moving their own way, I guess. And that's how you kind of get everybody in like a 3-man group that can just like instantly transfer out of, you know, whatever you're doing.
Live and let live.
But yeah, we're in the big end game. Glad we hit the 4-hour mark, or we beat the 4-hour estimate. This run has actually gone fairly well, so I'm very happy about it. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me for this 3.5 hours.
It has gone really well. Thank you so much for running it and running it at such an hour as well.
Yeah. It's been
You've done
something.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. Yeah. We're making it work as a team. There we go. It's just been the two of us hanging out. All right.
Yeah, we have Strut in chat. I hope he's still awake for the timer.
Yeah.
Oh hey, I got donations. Is now a good time?
Now is a great time. Yeah, we're just doing this. So.
Ayo donates $60 and puts no comment. Well, thank you so much, Ayo. And we have met the incentive for Metroid Fusion Mystery Mode, so we're gonna see a Mystery Mode in Metroid Fusion. Awesome.
Nice.
They also donated towards the Hollow Knight Nailsmith, like bid war, which is Purity versus Happy Couple, and they donated towards Happy Couple, which I think is in the lead right now. Let me see. Happy Couple. Oh yeah, Happy Couple is in the lead by quite a margin, but Hollow Knight is not right now, so you can still donate towards that incentive and ruin this Happy Couple's life.
Yeah.
All right, back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's time to ruin the happy marriage, chat. Be the chaos that is Twitch. Vote for your purity. You know you want it.
This isn't just
But yeah.
work, is it?
I heard that was a donation incentive, and I was like, haha, perfect. Let them pit them against each other. Let them fight like wolves. All right, so we're coming up in one of what would be some of the best music in the game, but sadly, we don't get to experience it in a way that we would generally like, I guess. So, but that's okay. So I'm gonna run up here. I'm gonna switch out Riku for Yuna, and then we spin to win again. Okay, slap to win. I should just keep saying it instead of spin to win. But yeah, you just get like the intro music. You don't get the awesome. What's it? The Seymour. I forget what it's called. Fight with Seymour. There's also a kazoo version of this, by the way, if you ever are interested. It's a SoundCloud track. All right, so that hit perfect, and so we're just gonna slap to win. Okay, so I don't think my armor break missed, but we'll see. There's technically a very slight chance that armor break can miss here, and even if it still hits, it's like a 1 in 256 chance or something like that it like doesn't count. But either way, we got a crit, so that doesn't even matter. So we did a nice 5/9 damage, easy peasy. Don't gotta worry about it. And we're at the end. We're at the end. If Yuna doesn't have 18 sphere levels, then we're just gonna be doing our best. I don't think she does. No, she does. She has 22. Okay, perfect. I was Chadley that only had 17. Okay, so yeah, we are definitely looking good. And I think also we're looking even better because of... oh, don't need to worry about this.
I won't go so easy on you
Need to
next
save
time.
some time by putting Kamari in first. Really doesn't matter who you put in at this point because you're just going to be switching in, what do you call it, like,
I won't go so easy on you next time.
you're just going to be switching in Yuna at the end of it, so it's just kind of just do a quick flip. It says Kamari, but I don't really know why it has Kamari specifically. I think that's just for, like, ease.
I'll be right back.
But yeah. Okay. And then this is the last, like, little push, so... nothing really to talk about here other than, you know, obviously we're going to be using Bahamut to slap our way to victory. And we're actually doing one last set of gridding before we actually hit, like, the true final fight.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
But we have a couple things to get first is the main deal. So this is the fastest way to go. That's just the simple of it. Try and get minimal amount of encounters here.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
I'm gonna be safe and touch the save sphere. And so this last little mini game is very interesting. It's something that you get introduced to in the initial like Sin introduction with Sinsmon Gui. But I'm gonna be like tapping the walk button here, and that's gonna make it so that I can stutter step. And then there's these like ice crystals that are gonna be popping up like all around, and I don't want to touch those because if I touch those, I get an enemy encounter. What I really want to do is just touch these like crystal spheres, balls. I don't know. I don't know. Final Fantasy is all about crystals, and so if really lucky there. So by not moving, I don't technically get into the fight. For I don't get spawned into the fight, and so usually I'm pretty bad about like mashing through like this. So that would cause me to get into a fight. So I'm just going to wait for this to go away, and then hopefully, okay, it despawned, so that's fine. Ooh, hello. So see, by stutter stepping, I can like see if they're like right in front of me or not, in front of my face, a little bit quicker than me just running. That's kind of the point of the stutter step. So a little bit hard on the a little bit hard on the thumb, but it's not too bad. And so all of the items that we receive from these like crystals here are set. So we're always going to get the same 10. And you only have to get 10 of these because, you know, it's Final Fantasy X. You know, they were a real galaxy brain when they were thinking about this. So 2 more. The most important thing that we get is the... Oh, there you go. It wasn't perfect.
I'll be right back.
What do you call it? So the most important one that we get actually is the very last crystal, which is an attribute sphere. And we're going to be using that attribute sphere specifically on Yuna to... Oh, man. Specifically on Yuna to unlock a speed node in Riku. The one speed node that we activated in Riku's sphere grid way back at the Spheromorph fight. So we needed that sphere node for Riku to be fast enough for the crawler fight so we don't get mana beamed. And then we also need it for this. So it's like a double whammy of things that we actually like we end up needing. So it's kind of crazy. Like actually how much we end up using with all of this. It's kind of nuts. So I didn't get a Zombie Strike weapon either, so we're going to Sphere Grid Chadley, and we're going to move here. I guess I could technically use a return sphere because I probably have extras, but it's good to be a little bit more safe than sorry with this. So use this, and he's going to get Zombie Strike. All right, and then Yuna is going to use a return sphere. So we only have one return sphere, so it's good that we used it. And I messed up where I'm trying to go. So the return sphere is down, down, duh, duh. Nope, that's not it. Oh, that's right. I haven't used the attribute sphere yet. Haha. All right. There we go. All right. Now we use the return sphere. Down, down, left, left. There we go. And then we basically activate these speed spheres so that the main reason is that Bahamut needs to be faster than Bahamut needs to be faster than Braska's Final Aeon because one of Braska's Final Aeon's attacks has delay on it, and we're good to go. Return to my menu, chat the Ornuna. All right, boom, let's go. Okay, has delay on it, as I kept repeating myself, and that would be without that speed, we would basically be two shot and we would lose the fight. So now we just go straight into awesome metal music, and probably what actually got me into metal, if I think about it, in my youth, even though I really didn't listen to it until I was much older. So now we just use a grenade and an HP sphere, which, if I can find a grenade, there we go. The Chaos Grenade causes BFA to hurt himself and also gives it, what's the word? What do you call it? Also gives it armor break. Now the talk makes it so that by Jek's next turn, it's going to lower its power, so we aren't going to get two-shot. Bahamut won't get two-shot by Jekt, and then we can just attack away, basically. So it's a bunch of safety, for the most part, making sure that we don't die during the fight is the biggest thing. So we one-shot the first phase, and yeah, that was a little bit of slow gridding, but like I said, it's been a hot minute, so... Yeah, it takes a long time to get good at gridding and knowing where you're going, and even still now, after a couple years of running this game like on and off, I'm still not the best at it. So here's, yeah, his voice affects him. You can technically win the fight still if he does Jekt Beam, so like that doesn't cause delay, and I can immediately go again. And if you somehow miss the last sphere note, that's how you can keep it going. So, all right, that's done. Jekt is dead forever, and now we're in the last bit of the game. So what we picked up there with the ability sphere is spare change. So literally what we're going to do is go through all of our Aeons, and we're going to throw our money at them. All the money that we've been accumulating since we finished buying things in the Thunder Plains, we're going to start throwing that at our Aeons to kill them. Because Yuna's going to go really fast, and it's going to be fine. So we get to watch all of our Aeons get summoned. They get possessed by Yu Yevon. Yu Yevon being, like, canonically... So what Yu Yevon is, for those who haven't played this game, and I'm about to ruin spoilers for you, Yu Yevon is like an ancient summoner, basically. An ancient summoner that basically creates sin and takes the final Aeon of each grand summoner, each high summoner, and turns it into a new sin, right? And so Yu Yevon is like kind of the core of sin, basically, that we need to defeat to like stop the sin cycle, basically. And it's actually kind of like it's a tick. It looks just like a tick, which makes sense because, you know, it just latches onto an Aeon. So yeah, I've always had questions about like technically how this like idea was supposed to work, but I think at the end of the day, like it sort of does show it in a decent way that like Yu Yevon, I think, technically like pulls out all of the power from a faith, and so by using up all the faith, it has nowhere to go, right? So it causes like the faith to basically die, to extract all of a person's soul to use it as a new sin. So that's like my canonical explanation as to why. I should read the Ultimania. I have it somewhere, but I just never like flip through it to do so, or at least I've never bought it. I'm very averse to buying lots of new things because I don't want to have to move them when I move places. So it's me trying to be what's the word? Both frugal and lazy at the same time. So yeah.
but that's environmentally friendly, and we like that here.
Yeah. So we do use different like what do you call it? Amounts for all the Aeons, because we want to not overkill them, but we want to make sure that we do kill them with their HP amounts. But time is coming up, so I've got 2 more Aeons to go here. Bahamut and Shiva. And after that, we're going to be fighting Yu Yevon, and then once I throw the Phoenix down at Yu Yevon, and then it kind of flips, that is when time will be called. So,
I have a pressing question.
sure.
Is there another way to beat them besides throwing money in their face?
Oh yeah, you could smack them really hard.
Oh, okay.
But, like,
I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah, no. But they have like extra defenses because Yuna is so strong, basically.
Okay.
But this is just the fastest way to do it, to make sure that you kill them, and it's like on the way to everything else. So I've never actually taken the time to see what would happen if I just hit them with Yuna and Titus, or Chadley, Titus, whatever you want to call them. But that's like that's just, as far as I know, that's the why.
Yeah, there must be a vanilla strat.
Yeah, like, yeah, the vanilla strat for like casual playthroughs is just hit them really hard and whatever. You technically can't die in this fight because you actually have auto life for all your characters. Really,
interesting.
The true final boss is Braska's final Aeon. So if you look at like their heads while I'm menuing, or like, you know, doing the last menus, you'll see they have like little halos above their heads. So they have auto life. So you technically cannot die from this little section. But you could theoretically be eternally stuck, like, fighting, but, you know, just like the nature of it all. Yeah. So she was the last one. We're gonna burn the last of our guild that we've been saving up. But yeah, you can see like the little halos above their heads as we're churning here. All right. Throw the last bit of money at Shiva. And then here comes Yu Yevon. So yeah, again, once I throw the Phoenix down, and the scene switches, is when time is called. So I'm gonna defend with Yuna. You skill zombie attack. We heard it, it gets a turn, and because it has zombie, it does damage to itself. And then item, Phoenix down, and 3, 2, 1, time.
GG.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Me too, but it was worth it.
Yes, it was very worth it. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate you as well, Anma. Oh my goodness. We did it, and we're underestimate. Let's go. All right. But yeah, it's going to get kind of loud here for a quick second, but I can probably pause it just so it doesn't get too loud. But I guess we're ready to wrap up pretty quickly here, so everybody can go to bed.
Yes, thank you so much, FoxyJira, for hanging with us tonight and running this awesome game. I really like the no cutscene mod. I think it really makes it more interesting for people to start running this game.
Yeah, it's a lot more manageable. It's a lot less downtime. Like I could have taken like 5 bathroom breaks and just like got dinner and all this other sort of stuff, like if I was actually running the full game. But yeah, it's a fun game. Like I said, I mentioned many times, it's my like favorite game of all time. So to run it is kind of a big deal for me, and like to show it off to people. And I hope I had interesting commentary, because this is like probably the most I've talked while running this game.
You did
at all. So my voice is definitely feeling it. So yeah. But yeah, as Anma said, I'm FoxyJira. I speedrun this game every so often. I'm learning Final Fantasy II right now, if you like Final Fantasy games. I also run other things, but just follow me on Twitch or my Twitter, FoxyJira, or whatever, and then have a good time, guys. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. Donate money to plant trees, because trees are pretty fucking sweet. Oh, I dropped an F-bomb, damn it. But, you know, it's late at night. We'll get it.
It's late.
Yeah, it's late. Yeah, it's late. It'll be fine. Just nobody tell Sin, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we forgive you.
All right.
Thank you so much. And so, everyone, we will be going back to sleep So we will be showing some highlights throughout the night, and you can continue to donate towards our incentives. And oh yes, thank you, Strahd, for dropping the link to Foxy's Twitch and chat. Really appreciate it. So thank you so much, everyone, for having been there on the second day of Green Gaming Fest 2022. We have raised $908. That is 908 trees that will get planted. So this is really good. We will be here for 2 more days. So you can resume with us back in 3 hours at 5 a.m. EDT and 9 a.m. UTC for Metroid Spooky Mission 2. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Good night, everybody.